With that. Shake your derriere in them dairy on. Shake, shake your derriere in them house of dairy on. Shake your derriere in them dairy on. Shake your derriere in the house of dairy on. Do the scissor leg. Touch your heel, touch your toe. I'm trying to put together, I'm not trying. Well, you're always trying because you put your effort forth. I'm attempting to. What's the word, the adjective? I'm putting together a timeline. Did y'all catch the time? Well, I guess it was a timeline. Just tying some significant events first of all, they all tie together. That goes to, I have no idea. That goes back to the family TikTok that I put out, the videos that I put out. Like all the people are related, like Obama and Brad Pitt, Hillary Clinton. No, not Hillary Clinton. Halle Berry and Sarah Palin, fucking Tom Hanks and Mr. Rogers. You know, like everything goes together. It's all fluid. It's all connected. It's all systemic. It's all relative, literally and figuratively. I have no idea what you're talking about, huh? And that, that's just the thing about it. Um, in the last video, like the question, did Beyonce, Jay-Z, who's this? Brianna Quan, welcome, honey. Hey, hi, welcome. Did Beyonce, Jay-Z kill Joan Rivers? Not, they didn't sit in a room and decide that they were going to kill Joan Rivers. The numbers fell and the way that the numbers fell. And people are who they are because of familial connections and how the numbers go. I don't know what I'm not trying to keep y'all in here. I do would like for y'all to stick around and hang out in the collective, but I just don't. And maybe y'all busy. I don't know. But listen, I go from 2000 to three real quick. Either way, when I look at Beyonce, and that's the thing. Let me just show y'all. Y'all know how you're gonna get it. I shouldn't even show y'all because y'all not the faithful people up in here. But I said, as I did this when did I do this? Yes, yeah, I did it. I did the video yesterday. And it all started with, I said, well, let me just get this out, just the Beyonce, because I mean, everybody, I feel like, but I realize everybody hasn't. Like, people are surprised when Wendy Williams' mother died, so people really don't know things. That's why I'm here. Welcome. But I was gonna do that. The numbers behind the Joan Rivers and Beyonce thing. Joan Rivers died and Joan Rivers was born in 1933. Beyonce died. Joan Rivers died. Joan Rivers was born in 1933. Beyonce turned 33 on the day that Joan Rivers died at 81 years old, and Beyonce was born in 1981. I just wanted to do something like that, right? But me being me, I like a bit more sustenance to a video. I just don't want to put something out, which I really should just do short videos. They react better, whatever. But I was just like, well, let me push it. Let me see what else I can pull out of this. How do I get all of this in 3 minutes? It's hard. So I did a little timeline up here. And I started with the Crow, which goes back into, and first of all, if you don't, you have to watch my videos. I do is playlists. People get in the comments and be like, "Oh, you should watch the other video." Oh, you forgot, watch the other video. And I understand, listen, because it's hard to put. You can't make me do nothing on TikTok I don't want to do either. Part threes and did whatever the case may be. But people be so much engaged to comment, and I think that they will go back and watch the video that's right before them, especially when it comes to the playlist, which is right there in the video that you could just click on and continue. The Crow went back to that. The Crow touched on several things. The Crow is significant in the Joan Rivers story because Kanye is significant in the Joan Rivers story. Kanye, Donda, Joan, Beyonce, Wendy, It all goes together. It all goes together. Donda died at 58, Wendy 58 years old. Everybody died in fucking November, October, November. Also, too, which is significant in the Joan Rivers story. Right now, I'm doing Brandy. What is significant in the Joan Rivers story because you can't talk Kardashians without talking Brandy. Yes, come on, hang out. You can't talk Kardashians without talking Brandy. So now I need to figure out how her numbers fall in, which part of those cross and things like that. Because at the end of the day, everybody's a tool. And I thought about see, it was almost 200 people in here, and now it's six. And it's like I don't know. I'm not getting into that because I like to focus on the love I have right here. But I had a thought one day. It's like so you get your contract, you sign your deal, you do your thing, you talk to the red man, whatever, figuratively speaking. And they say to you, and that's the thing about like death, fake and death, they say to you, you have 15 years to knock this thing out. You have 40 years to knock this thing out. You have this amount of time to knock this thing out. But these things will happen. These things will happen, and you will start to see a decline in what you were, what you have, what you want, things like that. So especially like Wendy Williams, knowing the game, associating herself with the game, and getting into the media and things like that, and seeing the play-by-play of how it happened before she even became this globally recognized figure. When she was on the radio, she was just reading tabloids. As she's gathering information from the tabloids and things like that, and things, of course, is going to resonate with her when she gets home after that radio. She'll be like, "Oh, this, that, and the third." She seems smart enough to me. I don't want to be wrong and think I'm giving Wendy too much credit for being a smart woman. To click these things, and then it's like her life started to mirror the very things that she was talking about on on the radio show. Her life started to mirror the very things that created the life that she was living off of the backs of those things. How does she not know? How does she not know that eating crow on her show is not just about ratings? How does she not know that? When she said she was eating the damn crow, I'm like, you're not really going to do this. I mean, sure, you could say, yeah, you don't want to. First of all, why was she so adamant, so hell bent on Kim and Kanye not making it past 72 days? 72, and that's numerous. And I'm not going to apologize because then I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me tell you about 72. Beyonce had a school in life, right? I had my first heels by the age of 13. By 14, they asked me when I want to be. I said, baby 21, so I give me a drink. 13 and 14 is 27. 27 in reverse is 72. Okay. What else is 72? First of all, the number 4, period, 4 quarterly. The significance of the video, and then just like the 140 people that just left out of here, whether it's because of timing or because they don't understand it, it's all numbers and anniversaries and celebrations and milestones that things happen. Like somebody, thankfully, and some people do get it. Like somebody in the comments said, rituals through numbers. Absolutely. Somebody said numerology in a way that no people will never understand. That's exactly it. Joan Rivers died the 25th year. She was the 56th year. The 25th. She was 25 when the Grammy started with the 56th. That math. That's when she died. 25 years after her being banned from the Tonight Show. Her after her birthday, Kanye West. I just think that was significant. First of all, what I think is significant too with Beyonce is that the dress she wore to the Grammys is the same. Don't look exactly like, but it's the same silhouette as Kim Kardashian's dress that she ended up wearing. Hey, Star, thank you. This is same. It's the same dress that it's the same silhouette as dress that Wendy Williams. Is Betty White still living? No, and it's funny. Yes, you did. Thank you, baby. Is Betty White still living? No, she's not. And it's funny that she died this year. No, it's funny that she died. Well, this year, last year, whatever the case may be. Joan Rivers talks about how Betty White will live forever, and Joan Rivers died before Betty White. So that's like I have to get deeper into that. That clicks for me, and I say it. Can I draw the numbers up right now to kind of make it make sense to people who don't understand it? Not at this time. Could I? Yes. Because what I'm about to do is get into Brandy. Like I said, you can't talk about the Kardashians without talking about Brandy. And also to the fucking Hiltons. And that's why I kind of went live too, to kind of have this um because one yesterday I had got the number 8. Why it took me I had wrote the number 8 down for Beyonce. Why wrote the number 8 down for Beyonce, I don't know, but 8 is when she first got on, did a performance, did a thing in line with this Joan Rivers video. I don't know why did I even write the 8. 32 minus 25. 25 minus 33, the years, it's all the numbers. And then it lost me. But the significance in that, equating 8 and 7 with Joan Rivers, is that that's when Beyonce first got, well, since she first made her first performance, when she was singing. And there's 2 songs too, and what is the information even accurate? At 8 years old or 7 years old, she sang Home from The Wiz. Or at that same event, she sang Imagine by John Lennon, not John Legend. By John Lennon. I don't know what any Home. I don't know how that goes. I don't know The Wiz like that. And Imagine. I don't know how that song goes too. This thing kind of mature for a girl who's 8 years old. I didn't see Cardi's video that she posted yesterday. No, I did not. So I will look into that. But Beyonce 8 2 8 is the number of tours Beyonce has had. 8 and 4, 4 and 4 is 8. It's really the numerology of things that seem to have tied. It's the numerology of things that seem to have tied a lot of things together. Even the Rose Bowl show where the person got their finger bitten off. I don't know if there's any symbolism behind that. But on July 4th, them going on tour on June 25th. June 25th is the day Michael Jackson died, right? Who Beyonce don't let anyone look at her eye? June 25th is the day Michael Jackson died. And she always trying to equate herself to Michael Jackson. And even now, what? Hello, I'm dealing with anxiety, depression. Find your happiness in any way that you can, and keep your mind positive. That's the best advice I can give. Stay positive. Stay as positive as you can. Be selfish about it. Be unforgiving. Be unapologetic. Because it's about you. It's not about anybody else. And you feeling anxiety and depression and regret is based on somebody else. So you have to forget anybody else. Joan Rivers and Wendy Williams, she was on the show a couple of times. They had a great relationship. Joan gave her the jewelry off her wrist on the show. Those types of things. Joan Rivers died. Her sister was a lawyer. Wendy Williams' sister is a lawyer. There's just some mirrorings. Also, too, like Wendy and Whitney Houston, that, mirrorings and that no ownership, a great talent, that sort of thing. And do this process, which is exhausting, to sit and write things like this out. and just look for connections to obviously make it make sense. But I think the biggest thing was that it's like Beyonce went on this world tour. This, what is it? Mrs. Carter world tour with this whole Queen thing. Queen, Queen, Queen. Also, too, this year the Queen died. This is the 25th year of contracts. This is the 25th year of Princess Diana's. This is the 25th anniversary of Princess Diana's death. This is the year the Queen dies. The Queen died 7 days after Beyonce's birthday. Joan died 7 days. Joan dies 7 days after she went sick on Beyonce's birthday. It's just, coincidence. First of all, there's no such thing as a coincidence. Things happen for intentionally because that's just how it's supposed to be. There's no coincidence that the people that are in here are in here. It's no coincidence that people that left. It's no coincidence that I'm sitting here in a bonnet and a hair on shirt. There's just no coincidence about it. It just is what it's supposed to be. Especially when you get into something so controlled as the entertainment industry. So that's where I'm at with that. And that was the whole thing. Also, I just wanted to share on Joan Rivers how she died, but the things that were happening around her or before that led up to her death on September 4th, 2014. Especially, I think it's really significant that Wendy, she ate that crow September 15th, the day Kanye West ends his tour. She ate at 7:15. That was season 7, right? The season premiere of season 7. Donda died in 2007. So that was 7 years later that Wendy did this thing, welcoming death. And I mean, she kind of, September 2014, that was kind of like the last good years. 2008, she started the show to 14. So that's 16, 15, 14. So that's 6 years into the show. Numbers. I do actually, especially I'm getting ready. My hair is based on it. I'm getting ready to perm it, so I'm trying to keep the grease off my pillow, if that's all right. And so that was that. After 2014, Wendy, the situations around Wendy were never the same. We left out of this just simply the Wendy Williams character on television. There was just no more of that. Now we were more into it because the next year her son went, watch the video. The next year her son went into rehab for synthetic drug addiction. The next year after that, that was 2015. 2016, listen, I did the video already. I said it already. Where is it? I gotta get me a binder, and I gotta get me some reinforcements. Oh, that's right behind. It's back here. 2007. What happened in 2016? 2017 is when she fell. Oh, I see. We definitely were talking, and my hair ain't nothing like Ashley's or yours, so I definitely needs me a binder on. But I'm sorry I got caught up in what I'm talking about. We forget what we discussed before. But Empire State Building. Last time we seen her parents, that was 2017. Now that's the thing is, I've always imagined like a wall full of like a calendar wall with boxes. And next year, which I'm behind. I'm behind by at least 100 years. But next year, I'm going to document everything. So how? I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to document everything that happens. They do, like, they try to do on, like, social media, the shade room stuff like that, the month to month things that happen that way, just to keep fucking track, because so many things happen. Just like so many people have died this year, from football players, black women. These celebrities are dropping like flies. You know what I mean? And then at the same time too, this crazy display of recognition with like Ashanti and Billy Porter and Christina Applegate and things like that. People getting those stars on a Hollywood Walk of Fame. And at the same time, too, these collaborations with fashion and the Kardashians and the Yays, and then um, Tyra Banks with fucking Skims. And then I just seen Snoop Dogg. My mind does move very fast. And then I just seen a collaboration with Snoop Dogg and Skims. It's like, what the hell is that? What is that? But Snoop Dogg aligning with Skims, that's business, because now he's the head of Death Row Records, and all of this stemming from the beginning of the year, which was the Super Bowl, which is the first ritual act of the year. Many people usually die around the Super Bowl and the Grammys. Whitney Houston, Prince, um, um, Kobe Bryant. This year at the Super Bowl, I said I'd never talk about it again, but I didn't know how much significance. Also, Wendy star is a 2,677 star. It's too many sixes and sevens. Why not 1354? Why not? But even still, it would be something, because each number means something, and that's why you have to pay attention to what the number is. But but Kendrick Lamar, after being gone so long, performs at the Super Bowl, and now he's mixed all these awards and this and that and this and that. And that. Mary J. Blige is doing these things, and she's getting into all this. Um, um, I don't know, Cappy Poindexter. She's getting all this philanthropy, and she wants to start this organization. She wants to start this organization. She wants to start this organization. Dr. Dre just is coming out. He's just as more confident and comfortable with whatever he ever done. And 50 Cent is dropping more shows, and at the same time he's being degraded by his son and stuff like that. Eminem comes out, and there's all this likeness of this, and Eminem's that, and I'm the new Eminem this, and it's just like that happened at the beginning of the year, and just has threaded itself. Girl, too. It's been crazy since Wendy fell. That's 2017. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 5 years. That's 5 years. And we weren't even in a panoramic at that time. Um, there was a duck. I don't know if y'all know, and please let me know if y'all ever seen one in y'all city. Because I don't ever think I've seen one in the harbor in Chicago. I never seen one in a lake in Potomac. I never seen it. In Buffalo is where I'm from. Something put a duck. It was literally a rubber ducky, a big ass rubber duck inside our marina, and I just thought that was the oddest feature. In the middle of some water, you have this duck. And then, just like an American colloquial idiom, like I just said about the crow video, if you watch that, this is a bad sign, because eating crow is that. A sitting duck is what? Somebody sitting and waiting for something to happen. So many things have happened in Buffalo, and I'm sure you guys know Buffalo now, especially beyond the snow, since that duck was in the fucking marina. And that was 2015, 14, something like that. George Michael. Shit, we take it back to '97 when they killed Princess Diana. First of all, the years have never been right, and what I will say is that we've gotten older. We've gotten older, and we become more conscious. We've become more aware. If you're wired that way, because some people go through and disassociate, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said with the Joan Rivers videos. I disassociated because all I heard was numbers and dates and things. And I mean, we're weird numbers and dates. You know what I mean? How can you not? Now I'm not the best with numbers until they start numbering. Now don't get here and talk about eighths as quarters and quarters is not dimes, and I'm not, whatever. But when you start talking like, 25 years later and then on the 13th day and lots of things happen in June and things like, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. I pay attention to stuff like that. And that's a common thread. And that's no coincidence. Um, but things have been happening for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. Even like, Rodney King was like the start of all this. I mean, police brutality. Not even Rodney King. Emmett Till. Um, who was before Emmett Till? Many others, but it really just sets the tone for, like I said, what happened at the Super Bowl set the tone for those celebrities this year and kind of weaved itself into the events of 2014. It wasn't just, 2022. It wasn't just oh, let me just get this artist and something, but no, we're going to do this mashup of people, and all these people will find themselves involved with other things. Snoop Dogg, well, he had already acquired Def Jam at that point, Death Row Records at that point. But like, whatever they're doing, even Snoop Dogg, he gets to star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he becomes, somebody said something like he's a national treasure. And it's no shade to Snoop Dogg. It's no shade to Snoop Dogg. But I don't get the national treasure part of it, a part of this. I don't get the national treasure part of this. But here we are with it, associated with Martha Stewart, and it's just a lot of things. And then when you get to the point, like I just wrote down before I started the Brandy thing, it's like everybody has I call it their term. If you want to make it to their term to life, right, or whatever. But when I started the Brandy thing, writing her numbers down, Joan Rivers is Russian and Jewish. And she, fashion. Imagine what she would have to say about what the fuck is going on right now. People thought what she said about Obama, or something about Blue Ivy and the diaper being dirty and stuff like that, and the um, many, what's the word you get to describe in Joan Rivers? Yeah, Brandy had a scare this year, and that's like Brandy actually killed somebody. I mean, you can't not look at that. Jesus Christ. What is SoFi Stadium? Where are you at? Um, please be right back. Um, things like the harsh, brash things that Joan Rivers says. Imagine what she would say now. Oh, Inglewood. Imagine what California. Imagine what she would say now with Kanye West, Brittany Griner, Valencia. Imagine what she would say now. And this is just this year. Things have been like this since the pandemic. Imagine what she would have said about the H&M and the monkeys or Gucci and the things. Imagine what she would have said about these things. Russia has been a big deal. Imagine how she would have been with Trump in office. Ain't no reason, John. And I made the other video. Angela Lansbury, the Queen of England, and fucking Barbara Walters, even Betty White. But let's remove let's remove all of them because we never really seen any of them. I ain't seen Angela Lansbury. The Queen. It's about 15 queens, so who knows when you saw the real Queen. Barbara ain't seen Barbara Walters in about 5 years. Ain't seen Betty White in about 10 years. So who knows what's really going on with those ladies? But they live to be 90 plus. Ain't no way in the world Joan Rivers goes in for a routine endoscopy. First of all, too, let's get into the symbolism of her going in for a throat procedure, and it's her throat that got her in trouble. But then some other doctor comes in there and does something else when it's a routine endoscopy. Give me the numbers, give me the reason, and give me the proof where people is dying or going into cardiac arrest for. Let me tell you about Candace Owen. They need somebody, and I don't know where I fit in that. I liken what I would like to do, something like a Daily Show, Candace Owen, Russell Brand, Wendy Williams, something like that. I can see myself doing something. I'm also fine just maintaining my brand like this. But you have to serve the purpose. You have to serve a purpose. Wendy took what the magazines were publicate. Wendy took a magazine publication, put it on the radio, and then put it on television. Those same publications on the radio and on television, they control the media. Wendy served that purpose on many different levels. And now we're at a point now where it's podcasts and bloggers and anybody, including me, get on platform and can talk. We no longer need to put these millions of dollars into this woman because she done brought us millions. She done made a couple millions. That's just the way it works. But there's no need for that no more. Aged out, and when I really predict the date, then I'm gonna really feel like something. Because if I feel like Miss Cleo when I predict the next song on Pandora, child, let me predict the date, which I think Kanye might be. Listen, Wendy get her money from Wells Fargo. I don't think she's under the conservatorship anymore, so she would be able to get her funds, have access to her funds. At the same time, too, probably the only business Wendy got caught up in Wells Fargo is Wendy Show business, which can't be much because she don't own the name. So I don't know. So how much is even really in there? Period. She worth more unalive than she is alive at this point. She gonna pass, and it's gonna be all these things. Like I said, they done took the after show off of YouTube. They probably put together what I don't know because I said a DVD. Oprah did a magazine, and I bought that when she ended her show. And don't nobody buy DVDs. We discussed this the other day. I ain't bought a DVD. I ain't bought a real DVD since Beyonce's Live at the Win. Last time I bought a bootleg DVD was in 2015. So they do some type of streaming or something, I don't know, just to make it special. And everybody's going to go buy that. Because, if people, again, discussing Wendy Williams and the after show, which was significant and understanding. People know Wendy from the show. People know Wendy from radio. Wendy and Kanye West are huge. It's a huge... Hey, Liv. What's up, Kenny? Wendy and Liv, Wendy and Kanye are huge parts of what's going, coupled with Bill Cosby and R. Kelly and things like that. This whole thread of touching on every part of entertainment with black people, it's just it really significant to address and at least try to understand. The thing to try to understand with Kelvin, as you say that, Neek, is that Kelvin was Wendy's manager. So whatever Wendy signed, Kelvin knew. Just like I said about him being in a relationship, Wendy did know. Wendy knew for 10 years. There's no way she didn't know that man was living another life. You're my manager, and you're my husband, and you're the father of my child. I know where you are 80 to 90% of the damn time. And that other 10% of the time, 20 to 10% of the time, I probably know why you are outside my reach. Because there's no way we conducting business. Wendy's brand was significantly growing at a huge pace. There's no way that I go without talking to you for 2 days, 3 days. There's no way I go out without talking to you for 10 hours. There's no way I go without talking to you for 30 minutes. Because we have to talk about these things. There's a call coming in. It's a call being made. There's an idea I'm having. We're growing the brand. We got styles in the fittings. He was listening to the people of the show. He was there. He was an integral part of the damn cast of the set. conducting business and threat and creating a hostile environment. So when it comes to this money, Calvin knew what the hell this money is. This is what he's supposed to do to fuel this narrative of whatever we're supposed to be receiving, whatever we're supposed to ingest from what they're providing to us about Wendy Williams. Calvin knew how much money he would get. Calvin knew when that money would stop. Calvin knew Calvin knew how Wendy was feeling. She wasn't parading on the show and then get home and be like, parade the same damn way. Calvin knew she was stressed. Calvin knew everything was happening. Calvin knew he was ready to leave her. Calvin is more informed than not. So him coming out to the news again, he talking about he want money from the thing. What happened with your situation with Deborah Mercury and you suing them? What happened with that? We're not talking about that no more. Now we're talking about you want more alimony from an agreement that you signed. Because if you signed it, there's no reason to come up because you didn't negotiate it. Because at the end of the day, that's the manager. Like I said about Chris, it will never come into question what is required or what is expected to be paid to Kris Jenner. It will never come into question. She is the reason behind all of those girls and Rob, their notoriety, their success, their income, their things like that. That's Kevin Hunter. You're not my manager without getting some type of money on the back end or getting paid from whatever I do. So that's the thing. If she's not working, he not getting paid. He knew that. I don't need you to come to the news and say that. You knew that. You were her manager for decades. You know how it goes. You're not only her manager, you're a manager with your own mind because you are a party promoter. And party promoters ain't nothing but business. So don't get in the news now in 2022 talking about things that you don't know or wool is being pulled over your eyes or how you broke it. And I don't believe Kevin is fucking broke. Kevin had been living the high life. Kevin had been living the high life always. So it wasn't like he ain't like damn back to contracts again. And that's also, we could be on for 3, 4, 10 hours. And what I talk about now will always loop back around later in the damn live. But he wasn't out. You never did even see him out in the things. And even when you seen him out, he wasn't out flossing, flashing things and this and things and things like that. He was never doing that. And even now you don't see him doing things like that. And the Gucci belts and the Ferragamo's and the things and the cars and the things. You don't see him doing things like that. That's not his behavior. So I would like to think, I could be wrong, that he was better with his money. And then whatever he's doing, putting Sharina Hudson, now if he getting he's not even getting a stipend. He getting the money that he's owed because he's Wendy Williams' manager. Period. Now I'm not talking about his part in all of this right now. I'm talking about what the business side is. If Wendy get paid from the show, he gets paid 10% of what that is. Whenever Wendy gets paid, he gets paid. He brokered the deal. He's on the contract. That's the situation. Kevin said the problem was that they tried to marry us. Now, Kevin has done some interviews, which I didn't read this new interview he did. But I'm gonna go out and say that it's not gonna be as authentic as those other interviews that he's done when he was in his backyard in a home where he shares a backyard with the other houses on the block. It's not like he lives in some sequestered mansion and this. No. So if he took the money he was getting from Wendy and went to try to make Sharina to get into interior design, make 3 wick candles and stuff like that, that's on them, and that's what that is. And yeah, Wendy, any breadwinner, anybody paying alimony or anything like that is going to have those things to say. That's a natural conversation. But I'm not open to the idea that he's blindsided by any lack of funds off a golf course. Lack of funds. That's Florida. Everybody live off a golf course in Florida. Now he don't live on the strip in Miami in those $20 million houses off of Wendy's pay. But yeah, I'm not open to that. I'm not open to that conversation. But that's just what they're gonna try to push and prove because if the contract and I wasn't in there, I'm not the lawyer. I didn't broker the deal. But if the contract with the Wendy Show Productions includes Kevin Hunter, he will stand to benefit from Wendy passing. And anything that happens after her passing, any type of money that comes in, any type of anything like that, he stands to benefit from things like that. Not only does he stand to benefit, obviously, little Kevin stands to benefit. When was little Kevin born? You don't know. That's you just don't know nothing about him. You know everything about everybody. They are still in Sasha and Malia's damn business. They just as famous as Wendy Williams' son is. I mean, because what is kids? We only know of we know of them. It's not like they was out changing school lunches or killing Bin Laden. He killed Bin Laden, right? Or killing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they were at that level of notoriety compared to their parents. We just know of them. We still keep Sasha and Malia distractions. Sasha and Malia dating and in college and things like that. But can't nobody get a visual on Kevin Hunter in college? They're dicking around in Florida. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Kevin Hunter. Hunter Jr. She didn't even look better to me. Um, this makeup. They said he was born in 20. He's 22 years old. Though. See, and that's what I'm saying about 22. Blue Ivy turned 10 this year. 22, Joan, she talked about the 22nd annual. That's not the 22nd annual Emmys, 22nd annual MTV Awards, and the 66th Emmys. 22 minus 66 minus 22 is 44. It's always gonna be a two. It's always gonna be a four and a six in a thing in a thing. It just always is. And when I see that, that's when my minds get to going. And they don't say his birthday exactly. Well, not yet. They just say that he's 22 years old. But I don't think Wendy looked good at the. I don't think that was makeup. She was very nicely dusted. Her wigs are always going to look nice. It was a cute little tracksuit moment that she had on. There was nothing special about what Wendy did. She didn't say anything significant. She didn't say anything different than what she said at the beginning of this year. Um, there wasn't even the amount of love and support that you would think after everybody waiting to see Wendy Williams out and about. There wasn't any of there was barely anybody in the crowd. So now we're in this control setting so that if she does stumble, so that if she does say something off the wall, because I'll watch the video that I posted. Most everything that's really going on with Wendy is in the Wendy Williams saga, and I've talked about it. So if you have any questions about what you may think, I think watch the playlist. But when she said, if a man has a finger, that's an automatic hello. That didn't make sense to me. And I just don't know. They just keep pushing her um, to make these appearances, knowing that she's not from even 2021. Maybe July was the last time she shot the show. I guess she said what she said about Tabitha's husband in 2021, July 2021. That is not the same woman. That's not the same woman. Wendy 58, Oprah 64. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that's age. And what you can, what I'm open to the idea that this is her sickness, whether it's something she's always talked about was her Graves disease. What she's always talked about was her thyroid. Lymphedema is new. You forgot lymphedema and you didn't talk about the elephant feet. First of all, I'm not ever going to address it as 11 feet because she's fucking, obviously she's suffering. So I'm not going to sit here and make a joke about that. And I think that's insensitive. And people are extremely insensitive, especially these kind of people are extremely insensitive, and also very opinionated. I'm kind of adjusting because it's hard for me to just put out a video, especially when the video does ominously with the people saying things like that. And most times, especially with this Wendy video, I really could care less. And I'm really kind of turned off by what people have said because they're ultimately wishing on her downfall, much like they do with Kanye West. But it is what it is. But she's dealing with these things. And if a doctor can't write her out of working, she needs to be on bed rest. She needs to be on this. She needs to serve more time at a rehab because anybody who's been doing drugs 5 years consistently in the comfort of their own home or on their own terms needs at more than 30 days in a treatment facility. Period. You are no better on that 31st day than you were on that first day. In fact, you're worse because you're going to be back in those situations where you can jump in a lift and go get you a kettle and vodka. You can call Ray J to bring you the damn drugs. You can do things to do the things that you want to do. You haven't built up. You barely know what the steps is. You obviously don't have no sponsor to enforce those steps. And that's all depending on if she really has this drug issue. Because if Wendy got suffering coke, alcohol, those two, lymphedema, Graves' disease, thyroid, and then people talk about this. I'm so sick of that. I'm sick of people saying it's karma and it's early onset dementia. We too far along since people have been talking about Wendy with early onset dementia for her to even be out here, for that to even be a part of the conversation. Yet it still is. You have to have experienced somebody with early onset dementia, or somebody has dementia, or somebody that has Alzheimer's. You've had to have experienced that instead of just going off what somebody's saying. It's a slow process. It's a slow process of consistent declining. Wendy would not be out here um pleasant at this point. If she had early onset dementia, she would be aggressive, she would be confused, she would be dazed. She would not be sitting down with some young girl from a radio. She would not be doing that. So let's roll that. Oh, it could be. No, it's not. It's not dementia. This is obviously lymphedema, but is it even lymphedema? And then I go back to what Dave Chappelle. I left the country because the people around me wanted me to believe something that was not going on at all. Wendy Williams first got came out of nowhere, lymphedema, came out of nowhere. That she got out of the shoes because of her vertigo. She didn't want to wear heels in the stands because she was more comfortable and she was probably tipping over. She probably did tip over one day and they probably had the people sign non-disclosures because that's how contracts work. And they didn't talk about that and she never wore heels on the show again after that. That was vertigo, which is from the Graves' disease, no? And the thyroids, which is want to say obvious because it's physically presenting. It physically presents itself, her thyroid issues, Graves and a thing, lymphedema. But my thing with the lymphedema was her legs and her feet were swollen. Now she's got these things, she's got the leg compressors and things like that. Now her legs are not as big and now her feet are huge. I don't know much about lymphedema. I've never experienced lymphedema like I've experienced Alzheimer's and dementia. But I feel like if that's what you're always dealing with, then that's what it would be. For your feet to have swollen up to that extent that you keep showing them to people, which I don't think is very much like her, because if you don't want to show nobody your real hair, why? But that's the thing. That's the embarrassment. But at this point, what is Wendy needing to embarrass herself for, which is a ritual? But it's all the narrative of let's feel sorry for her. And these are the pieces that contribute to her downfall. Showing her feet on, she showed her feet on her show. She showed her feet on TMZ. She showed her feet, and she's just showing her feet with how sizable they are, but her legs are not what they once were. And then I had to educate myself on lymphedema because I would think that your legs would still be the same size, but they're not. And if your feet hurt that bad, there's no level of pride that will allow you or have you risk your brand and your image. Okay, you don't want to be in a wheelchair, which they're saying. Somebody said she used to walk with a cane. I've never. It's people get on my nerves. I've never seen Wendy with a cane. Never seen it. Never seen her in a wheelchair other than coming out of the thing or going into the thing. I've seen, I think, one time somebody was wheeling her into her apartment. And that was from coming from the hospital. And if your feet hurt that bad, there's no level of pride. It's just, I'm willing to ruin my image for me to bust. When she was like at the end of the video, my problem is that if she's okay enough to walk and she doesn't want to use a cane or a wheelchair, she's not bad enough to use a wheelchair and she doesn't want to use a cane for stability, why does she not, when she goes on these outings, when she should never be leaving the house, because she doesn't have to leave the house? We ain't seen Barbara Walters in 5 years. Okay? We hadn't seen Betty White. We hadn't seen Angela Lansbury. And the Queen was 96. Apparently, all four of the Queens was 96. And she was out at the Jubilees and the things surviving COVID. So, like, okay? Wendy, 58, a young 58, okay? Unable, with the unsteady gait, with the means and the resources, should have somebody, no problem, no issue, walking her where she need to walk, like that big black man that walked her into that WBLS thing, because she was walking the entire time. She walked to the car. She walked from the car to the building. She walked through the building to the place. She wasn't going to do that alone, so she had to set that up. She should have something like that all the time. And you know who should do that? Her management. Her assistant. I need to hear from Kevin. I need to hear from, I do. I'm challenging and I'm calling these people to the thing. Kevin, little Kevin. We always hearing from big Kevin. I need to hear from little Kevin. I need to hear from Wanda, her sister, and I need to hear from the chief of staff. You know who the chief of staff is? You got to watch the Wendy show, to the after show to know. Chief of staff is what I think her assistant's name, Melissa, Ashley, Karen, something like that. She didn't want to be called an assistant anymore. She wanted to be called chief of staff. Where is that woman at? Now, and that's the thing about contracts and non-disclosures. If she can't ever talk about what's going on with Wendy Williams, then at no point can she ever talk about what's going on with Wendy Williams. Kevin may be under contract. Wanda may be under contract. Why is Tommy not under contract? At the same time, Tommy alludes to things. Tommy has a roundabout way of addressing things. Tommy frames conversations around what's going on with his sister, but never directly addresses what's going on with his sister. So, he kind of beats around that. Maybe that's something he learned from his sister Wanda, the lawyer. Suzanne, everybody at that show is under contract. They can't talk about anything from probably ever. From when Kevin was there until the day, Wendy's last day in 2021. They can probably never talk about those things. At least right now. And then whatever the contract dies, the contract expires when Wendy expires. And then that's when everything's going to come out. There will be another book. There will be another movie. There will be another thing. All monopolizing off the death of this woman. Like they trying to do with Whitney and these damn, I shouldn't be scratching. I'm getting ready to perm my hair. I'm very excited. The damn holographic tour. Like, no. Because nobody stands to benefit that. I know in perpetuity. I know what in perpetuity means. But we don't know if these contracts are in perpetuity. We don't know. And usually after people die, that's when things come to light. Those contracts expire because the need for secrecy is not required. And that's just what we're waiting for somebody to expire. And right now we got people on, I don't know. And I have, with the way I try to theorize things and stuff like that, I'd be like, okay, well, maybe this person thinks like that. But listen, I'll tell you this, I didn't expect Takeoff to die. I wasn't expecting that at all. Not expecting that at all. Um, who was the last person the black person that died before then? I don't know. Where is little Kevin, honey? In Florida, in New York. And that's what I said to us, like, okay, I'm not saying welcome Juke 1966. I'm not saying that they're not doing anything. For hey Hattie, for my own pleasure, understanding, and peace of mind, I would like to hear, just like when Spice was down, um, I wanted to hear from like a Carly Red, somebody who said she tracked her down on her birthday just to spend time with her. I wanted to hear from somebody like that who had would have a better understanding of the situation to put out information that would make sense regarding the situation, you know? But she couldn't say shit because Spice got out the damn hospital and lied to the people. Talk about she never addressed not getting a BBL. She just said that she wasn't in a coma, but you were down. You were in sepsis. So how were you not down and in a coma? Like so Cardi B couldn't speak. I mean not Cardi B. Carly Red couldn't speak to that because this is the story for Spice. And then Spice has this album coming out called Emancipated, and then Will Smith is doing this tour to promote his movie Emancipated or something like that. So that's the story. I'm expecting Kevin to be like, no, you don't need to tell her business. She fall and drink and things. No, but like I've talked to my mother. This is the thing. You know what I mean? I'm here with her. We would appreciate your privacy. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Nothing. Wanda, I check on my sister often. I don't know what my brother's doing. I try to keep, you know, the relationship between my father and my sister have always been strained. We would appreciate your patience with us and our time of privacy, secret, whatever, something, some type of state. There's not even a representative. We need to fire the people, the representative, and the lady that she got there now is just strictly Wendy, and she don't. There's just nobody else that's involved in that. So we never know the thing. All we have to go on is what they give us. If something happened to me, there'd be a bunch of people that would want to say things. But there are maybe three people that would be valid, credible sources to provide the information that the people need to hear. Everything else would be speculation. And that's all we have with Wendy. Everything is fucking speculation. Oh, let's give her enough. I go back to the show Succession. Logan Roy is ill. Logan Roy is Wendy Williams right now. Wendy a little worse, but Logan is bad too. He's older. He's not in his right mind. They're doing the corporate merger because he's not in his right mind. The day of, they sitting there doing it. They getting the votes ready. He loses it. Completely slips out of completely slips out of logic and coherence, and he's just running off and belligerent and rude and mean and things. And didn't nobody know what to do with him. His kids didn't know what to do with him. His business partners didn't know what to do with him. His in-laws didn't know what to do with him. But there's the one girl that he's had hired. Everybody didn't know where she came from, but she came. His right hand girl or whatever. She came, she gave him a shot. And Logan Roy was back in action. Like he wasn't just down 4 minutes prior. They propped Wendy up. Put her on a little corset or something inside that thing. Propped up her boobs. Put her on a little um secure the blur foundation, one size foundation. Who knows what it is? But that's what they did. That's what they did. And they gave her a shot for her to even be present that long and answer questions which were already discussed on the way over in the car. They said, Wendy, just the questions that the girls can ask you. Nothing different than what TMZ asked you. Nothing different than what Good Morning America asked you 9 months ago, 11 months ago. If it's all the same. Nothing different than what we've rehearsed. That's the thing too about her having dementia. She had dementia. She would not even be able to get up there and answer questions like that. Early onset, nothing. She wouldn't be able to do that. A little background on myself. I'm just me. I'm just a man running his mouth with a passion for media information and makeup and meals. London Kelly is the name. Thank you for your time and your interest. But that's just where I am with that. And no. You know what will look good? Wendy in that chair with relevant eyes. And that's what I do. I've said it before, I didn't say it again. If you said it before, you can do it again. Ty Tribbett. I went to the Wendy Williams show. I went to the Wendy Williams show, I don't know, 2015, 2012, 2000. I don't even know. There's a picture somewhere. Where are them pictures at? Either way, I was there today. Cheryl Burke was there. Cheryl Burke was Dancing with the Stars. Cheryl Burke. I was so underwhelmed with Cheryl Burke, and she gave us this Dexatrim or some shit, some weight loss drug. And but I was just really happy to be at the Wendy Williams show, right? And you get there, it's heavily produced, very controlled because it's live. So you wait, you get in the room, everything's set up, you know what you're getting. That's the thing too. I got there. And that's why I said to Wendy, hopefully she get on the damn podcast and she bring me on as a sidekick. She could Charlemagne me. But I don't think that's happening. Either way, um, we you know what you're getting before you get on the show. So even when they're like, "Oh my God, it's such a surprise," you already know because you have to sign the waiver. You already know exactly what's going on because that gets you out the door. You can do all this processing before the show even starts, before you even get inside the set, to your seat. You do a lot of processing for the live show. It wasn't like that for Nate Burgess, which was terrible, but it was nice because Gail King was there. Either way, so you go to Wendy Williams, you do the things, you sign the things, you get ready, you go find you get your seats. There's a whole thing. It's very hype. It's a very nice vibe. It's a very good time. Wendy comes out there. She is on. Okay, you see it. You feel her energy. You can see her focus. You can see her intent. You can see that she's on because she's playing for the camera and she's making it engaging. And then during commercial breaks, she's straight back to, okay, so this, that, and the third, this, that, and the third, and whatever else her assistant or her security guard is addressing, like for the rest of the day or things like that. Because it's a live show, so she's getting things in real time. And then the camera comes back on and she's like, okay, this, that, and the third, and stuff like that. Then after the show, she does the little, hey, you guys, thank you guys for coming. You could be anywhere in the world, and da da da. And she was in this blue two-piece thing that looked like one dress, but it was a two-piece. Nice wig, very nice. She was at a good weight. She was very proportionate in person. She's not such a P. I was very pleasantly surprised with the whole damn thing. I say all of that to say that woman is a powerhouse because I command the show, I command the information, and I command your attention. This woman that we have right now is not the woman and I don't care about the dates. That's why I talk about Oprah, because Oprah from that last day on that show, which was 20 years ago, is just as good as the Oprah we got today. And like I said, okay, women's and the degrades and the thing. Oprah, older and still don't got the same type of, I'm not saying they need to have the same ailments, but she ain't ailing the same way Wendy is. That don't sit right with me. And that don't make sense to me when I in real life I experienced the Wendy Williams that we're reminiscing about and want to see again. I firsthand I experienced that, and I can only imagine what she's like when the fuck she gets out of there. Which is, I'm sure people who went to her on her comedy tour, probably miss her more. And I don't hear too many people talk about that, but she was definitely on the comedy tour. But that was like real. There was no type of production involved. I didn't need to make you clap. I just talked my shit, and that was that. I bet them people really know the real Wendy Williams too, and watched her at WBLS and was like, that's not Wendy. You can put her in the boots. You can put her in the wig. You can push up her boobs. You can do all the things. It don't matter. That's not the same person. How? Why is it not? And why do we not have a credible source of information when it comes to understanding our girl? I'm not, and none of my intention in any of my videos is to ever to degrade Wendy or even make a joke of it, anything like that. I told you guys before. Some of you, I don't know, it's different people, same people. Love y'all. Either way, I said it before. If you were here, this is my emphatic, empathetic, emotional plea that if we can't get our girl to get the help that she needs, then I hope and pray, and I don't, but I would like to think that they would just let her live her life out quietly, like Betty White, Barbara Walters, Angela Lansbury, and the Queen of England, who probably did die when Jason Lee says she died at the beginning of the year, around fucking Grammy time, right? And I don't need to be, just like I said about the Potomac Housewives and the Real Housewives production, I don't need to be dicked around. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't need to be dicked around, strung along to, because you tarnish in the image. Everything that you show, and that's thankfully I like to compartmentalize and I can hold on to the good things. Everything you showing tends to degrade the image that I take away from Wendy from when I saw her in 2012. I think it was 2012, 2013. I went to Essence Fest in 2012. I don't know. To degrade that image, somebody who was with it, crisp, funny, direct, professional, silly, emotional, driven. I don't like any of it. I don't like all this confusion that we're in with the media right now. Um, and it just keeps driving home. And then there's some articulate, okay? Um, and before you can even get into something or even try to find some reprieve, Wendy Williams is in a reprieve, then Kanye's the anti-Semitic. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, there's just no fucking break. There's just no fucking break. And if Kanye's not anti-Semitic, and if Wendy's not out buying liquor at 8 o'clock at night in a yellow taxi, then black people are dying in their hotel rooms or in car crashes or getting beat up by friends on a tour, on a vacation. Natasha, what's up, sugar? Thank you, Micah. I try to be. I try to be. And I wouldn't mind going into maybe I wouldn't mind going into a whole thing about me, but I'm on, I'm in a mode. And that's the thing too with Kyrie, even what you call it now too, and then got caught up again. They're trying to arrest him, Antoine Brown, the bubonic plague. First, and that's what I just said that earlier. It's like shit been left for years and years and years and years. We go back to slavery, and I had a whole live about that. It was really good. We go back to slavery and the inception of slavery, and not just um, the Africans that were enslaved. The like the black Africans, the Africans, the African Americans. You know what I'm saying? To bring that over here. Exactly, TJ Holmes. And that's what I said about a reprieve, or even just try to, you know what I'm saying, send up positive, because I'm all about energy. Just send a positive energy. Al Roker died. Not, see, Lord Jesus. Al Roker is ailing in the hospital, out the hospital, and then immediately back in the hospital. He's ailing on I think that's the competition show. He's on, they're on Good Morning America. He's on the Today Show or some shit like that, right? So in an attempt to draw more attention to them, they put these people, a black man and a white woman, like I told you guys before, just on the heels of the Supreme Court letting gays and interracial couples be accepted, which should never be a conversation. Just like policing, policing what women do with their bodies should never be a conversation, especially a public one, and one that is controlled by men, or men that are not of any type of connection or relation to those types of issues, or men that make those issues to cover their ass. Like it should never be, but that's where we are. So on the heels of the Supreme Court passing it in altitude, what the fuck do gay marriage and interracial relationships have to do with one another? I'll never know. But after that happens, now they're together. I looked at the pictures, and this is what I'm saying. You don't be on the TV that long, 40 years, 30 years, 25 years, and not know your mic is hot. You don't be on the TV that long and not know that people are watching you. And at the same time, like I just said, we sitting here looking to see where the hell Kevin Hunter is. Now that man go to college. He lived down in Florida. If somebody could grab a picture and send it to TMZ, they got so many other things. Meanwhile, these people who are on TV, report on the media, find themselves in a situation where he's clasping her butt and they holding hands in a car. And that's supposed to be coincidental. Candid camera footage. You must think I'm dumb. You must think I'm dumb. And now we back, like I said, back to ratings, and back to trying to it's gonna be flatter than this. Back to the ratings, and back to a bottom line, and back to, you can't even, like I said, I say that with Tracy Braxton. Got to bring up Tracy Braxton because I incorporated Tracy Braxton in my lives when I first started going live. And it was me and the gang, and we would get on here, and so I would be on live at least for 5 hours. I was never on live less than 5 hours. And I said, I have to play a song, like a last call thing, Zadina Howard, Anita Baker, Adina Howard t-shirt in my panties. And I said, I need to get another song. So I did Last Call by Tracy Braxton, right? So I started playing Tracy Braxton for those lives. A week, 7 days later, Tracy Braxton was dead. So Tracy Braxton has a special place here in my lives. She has a special place in my TikTok history just because of that. Tracy had been sick. Did nobody make no big deals about Tracy being sick? There was never an opportunity for us to send a prayer, to be positive, to send good vibes to Tracy, because boom, she died. Now Tamar's this and then Tamar's that, and I could care less about what the hell Tamar's doing. Listen, when I finally watched The Truman Show, hold on, I'm gonna get to that, because I finally did watch The Truman Show, okay? Hold on, I was talking and I was running my mouth. It's almost as if there's an order in which events must occur for things to go back to normal. Well, things will never, what is normal? Things will never go back to normal. especially after this panoramic. They say one of the sponsors hired a PI. I think it's like, and that's those easy. It's always easy. Hey, foreign guy, welcome. It's easy to excuse. It's easy to put a relatable or understandable excuse to something. Oh, they died of cancer. Oh, she has dementia. Oh, there was a private eye. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. It's just like, okay, then we move on from the next thing. But first of all, I always question things. You want to know about me? I always question things. And it started with, I mean, the collective knows that. The gang, they know this. It started with the dinosaurs in the Bible. We're not discussing dinosaurs in the Bible, and then what the hell are we talking about in the Bible? Now we're just talking about a book of stories and the things and the things and the things and the things. And I've been questioning things ever since then. Then you get older and you watch these programs like the Truman Show. You watch these programs like Scandal. You watch these programs like The Blacklist. You watch these programs like Succession that touch on these different sections and sectors of entertainment and life and business. And you see how things are conducted. You have to take into consideration that some elements of Scandal are real life because they consulted the lady that assisted with with crisis management during the Bush campaign. You have to take into consideration that some of the situations are accurate on Blacklist because they consult with people who work for the FBI and the CIA. They're not just pulling shit out of their ass and look, oh, we're really going to throw the American people off their ass with this one to some brand new. No. To that, I apply everything. Okay, they hired a PI. Okay. You so famous and you think you're doing such a good job, like I just said about Wendy and her man. You not my manager, and I clock your sleep, what time you get up in the morning. If I know what time you go to bed and what time you get up in the morning, I know how you've done your day. And let's just say, and that's I'm always playing devil's advocate. Like I said, my mind always moving fast. Let's just say I could give two shits about what you're doing. That means I don't care about you having the affair. So that's not a part of the problem because I'm now a part of the problem. So that can't be the issue. Just like Kevin saying, oh, I need the money. You knew you weren't going to get the money. You signed that contract years ago. Thank you, Raven. Thank you so much. And Jim Carrey has been on a higher vibration. Jim, and that's back to Neat, what you said about the Truman Show. Jim Carrey, yes, he has been on a higher vibration, but that man has been struggling with his vibration for since the Truman Show. His characters were exploited, and through the success of his exploitations, he became more aware of the puppeteering and the restrictions and the conditions that you have to go through to be a celebrity. It's The Truman Show and it's his movie, The Number 23. It's his interviews and it's the death of that girlfriend he had that put Jim Carrey in like a position like Wendy. Nobody else has ever lived this long and dealt with that. Will Smith teetered on his conscience. He teeters on his consciousness and things like that. And to that, Jim Carrey lost a girlfriend, and Will Smith slapped somebody on national television. So you played the blacks and the whites, that sort of thing. But we don't. Jim Carrey hasn't had a movie since I think The Number 23. And why is that? Not because that man not good. Not because people not gonna go see. People will go to the movies and see. I mean, because I'm impartial. I love Jim Carrey. Always have. And I realize now, as I'm older, why I love him so much, and why I always did. Um, I hate that so bad. But there's no reason that man don't have no movies. There's no reason that they know that man, especially a shit like Netflix and things. The people not gonna sit and watch a Jim Carrey movie. And that's why I sat and watched the Truman Show after all that. I said, well, let me finally sit down and watch this movie everybody's talking about. And if that's not a depiction, that water he walked off the set. He walked off the set. And not only did he walk off the set, everybody he came in contact with was in cahoots. That's Dave Chappelle. Come on. That's fucking service. That's Dave Chappelle. Every TV show and movie, there is a reason behind being done on All of Us 100. Jim Gokay? And no, he don't want to. But there's something into that because it's not like, oh, you just don't want to. Whitney didn't want to. Wendy don't want to. Didn't want to. DMX didn't want to. Um, Plenty of these. I think Prince was on his way to not wanting to. Michael Jackson didn't want to. What's between all these people? Besides Wendy, what's the common thread between all these people that didn't want to? And I'm sure he only said that for the money, and that's all. Oh wait, no, he wasn't in. He wasn't in. That was Will Smith. He wasn't in Terror Squad or anything like that. I'm still waiting for the damn connection. And I'm sure that's where the bottom line, or even well, I don't know. But I mean, there's no reason why shit he could have been the Joker. There's no reason why he was the Joker. He was the Riddler. What does he want to be in a movie that reflects some type of fantasy instead of some type of reality? Are we serious with this? Okay, here we go. Movies. 2020, he was in Sonic the Hedgehog. 2022, he was in Sonic 2. I don't subscribe to Sonic the Hedgehog. So he was in a cartoon. The number 23 came out in 2007. He has discussed the Illuminati for years. And it's kind of like, whatever the numbers is not the numbers when Joan dies at 81 and blah blah blah. The numbers just aren't calling for Jim Carrey right now. And the thing too with the Illuminati was that 2010, all these things start coming out about the Illuminati, which now I say we're in this age of information with so much access to gain the information that these pebbles get dropped and people pick them up and then they become a part of the conversation. So much so that Beyonce can sing about it and Jay-Z can wear shirts representing it and things like that, which just fuels a narrative. And at the same time, too, what my understanding of the Illuminati or the Brotherhood alone is that through your talents, you have to make reference. So when things are done in plain sight and people disregard it or people don't even understand it or people don't absorb it and things like that, the energy is still pushed out. The energy is still carried on because now your secret society is represented in some, hey, December. Thank you, Hattie. That they do that D with the lion with little Simba, and I still say D lion, and I don't know why. December is not one thing that comes to my mind. That's off topic. But um the people come out and they get to they can talk about these things because it's it's what they need, and still people don't. Nobody. I mean, with all the things that have come up with like the secret society, like I told you guys, um, the hand gestures, the checkerboard floors, the one eye symbolism, the monarch butterfly, the songs and the lyrics, and the symbolism behind children and things like that. Still, people go out and consume. Still, people are blind. Still, people don't. It's like the one girl said, I disassociated because of the numbers. The people disassociate, and it's just easier. AJ, what are we talking about? Jim Carrey. It's just easier to live the life that's given to you rather than than paying it and reading into it. First of all, you should read into everything. You go into your job, you have to read the room. You go into the movie theaters, you have to read the room. You go into a supermarket, you have to read the room, especially in this day and age. And when it comes to what you consume on TV and especially on your phones, it's very much so like this app right here. You click on the wrong things, you find yourself liking too many of the wrong things. Your timeline will be filled. Do they call it a timeline on here? Your For You page will be filled with things that will negatively affect you in a way that you do not even know how to combat because of the repetition and the push and just the intent behind the content. Should nobody and then we get Kanye coming out too. And I don't know if you guys thought about me when Kanye gonna ran his mouth, but I was like, Lord. But just like Kyle said to Erica, don't say things like that because then it's hard to defend you. But in a way, if I'm gonna stick to my guns, I will say look at it as regardless of the intention behind what they want to happen, they, the proverbial they, what they want to happen from this negative attention on Balenciaga, that doesn't take away the fact that Demna Gvasalia is extremely talented. And the people that work at the Balenciaga fashion house are not supposed to lose their jobs because this was the intention. Because then that, like that's not, I don't think that is right. Even when it happened with H&M and the things. There are good people that work at H&M. Like we're not going to condemn them like they want to, people condemn the police. All police officers are bad. We're all going to give all police officers a hard time. No, that's not right. This situation happened. There's marketing. There's an intention in marketing. There's so many marketing ideas that are acceptable, and people would probably consume and subscribe to and go out and purchase the items that are palatable, respectable, and respectable, and just it makes sense on a human level for consumerism. But then it gets pushed to the next person or the next person, not Demna, not the creative director, not the seamstress, not the atelier, not the interns. You know what I mean? It gets pushed to somebody else. And they're like, no, we're going to spice this up a little bit because there's this thing going on with Kanye. And if we could maximize off or whatever, not the thing with Kanye, but if we could hitch our rides, because that's like, y'all did this after, like, whatever type of negative feedback you were would ever questionably think you whatever type of negative feedback you would questionably think you'd get from that type of with that type of campaign, you already saw it with Gucci. You already saw it with forever with H&M. You already have experienced some type of backlash from what Kanye West has done. Why would you go and push that out? So like, if I'm a defend what Kanye's saying, it's to that point. The people that are making these decisions, like Kanye said, are the Jewish people that further the that continue the media. And now, if we're going to talk, and I don't know, it might get me if I start talking about the man with the mustache and stuff like that. But if the Jewish people, and that's the thing too, half of what you see, none of what you hear. If the Jewish people were doing what they did now, then the last 100 years is days. And I mean, yes, growing up in the church, especially, you hear that we living in our last days. And as a kid, when you think you got a life to live, you like, well, I don't really want to hear that. But child, we're living in the last of days. But if the Jewish people were doing the things that they're doing now, controlling the narrative, stocking money, st- hoarding money, keeping it within the family, not sharing the wealth and things like that. And then this person comes along and he's like, all right, y'all need to be stopped. And that's the thing too is in movies, they usually play the bad person. And then, some of us in here, if you're at the Kelly Collective, I like to think that we all root for the villain to some degree because if you like me, you're, that type of person. Um, you root for the villain. Most times in movies, they play the villain out like it's the worst possible option, and the other option opposed to the villain is what it should really be. When in actuality, if you reverse the roles and take it down to something more um like actually human, real life, you know what I'm saying, in your community, yeah, you do need to start fresh to start anew. Like I said with fucking Batman and the Batman Forever with Dr. Freeze and Vivica Fox and Alicia Silverstone and Poison Ivy. Kill Poison Ivy. She wanted to build the rain. She was about the rainforest and the plants and the things. Dr. Freeze was trying to stop global warming. But here comes Batman because his suit is nice and they put him in and they create these damn handsome men to create him to portray him. He becomes the savior of these situations that these people seem to be bad guys. Now, I don't know what the Riddler did. The Penguin was about animals. Joker, mental health. But no, these people must be stopped. Or like in the Gods of Egypt. Gods of Egypt, they played Ra, I think, like he was the good person. And the other people were, he had to fight against you because these people want to fight against him. When, you just know your Egyptian mythology and your history and things like that. And it's just like, okay, so now, no, we can't subscribe to this narrative. Well, I mean, you could, okay, take it and that's, you have to compartmentalize. But the same way with them putting those underwear on those dolls and you dip them in cold water, it's a subconscious process that happens when things like that become the only form of entertainment that we can consume. The narrative is askew. Hitler was a terrible guy. He killed people in concentration. So much so that you don't even allow yourself to think of the opposite. Like, okay, well, maybe they were getting beside themselves and they were affecting and nobody. I mean, Eli Wiesel. I mean, and let me tell you this: if Eli Wiesel, the last one to survive the Holocaust, only one living, let me tell you this: he's perpetuating the narrative. He's not telling like when we talked about slavery that day on here. I need to talk to at least three people, maybe five, because I'm gonna get at least best three out of five. You know how I feel about gathering my information. At least five people, because I need to see where everybody's perspective on the one topic. When they always push it as this one thing, you would think, but none of us in here have had the same life experience. We may have had the same situations occur, but we haven't had the same experiences. We did not perceive life the same way. We did not perceive our experiences the same way. We did not grow up the same way. We may have shared some moments, but even in that, the process was different. You can tell me one man, that we got one man after all these people, and even Anne Frank's books. I mean, a little girl, of course, kids that you're gonna tell me one man sat here and is gonna be the things and be the spokesperson for this cause, and if he can push the narrative that this is what happened, then this is what we'll always have. We'll never talk to Hitler. We'll never talk to Hitler's auntie. We'll never talk to anybody, well, the Nazis and stuff like that. And it fuels hate. And, I don't want to sound ignorant in the fact that, Nazis are associated with hate, synonymous with hate, and this is what they did and things like that. But I think kind of that layout is kind of like, obviously, um, how you feel about people is in racism. And racism and classism tend to become synonymous at the same, in that same vein. Um, because if you look at racism, the nerve, it's classism. The nerve of white people to not to look down on black people when we're the reasons why you guys have generational wealth. We're the very reason why you guys are over flourishing in this country. We're the very reason there's a possibility for an American dream. We're the very reason for a lot of the things, tools, instruments, ideas, books, music that affect the world right now. The very reason. The nerve of white people, which is the societal thing, to be racist. Oh, you, but the nerve. Okay, hold on now, Hattie. What you said? It was the people that created Robert and the antics on both sides going to have us in World War III. He used what happened to them in World War I and created fear, basically. Said if you get these people, then we will be good. If you're in a bad shape and somebody touches you, that's the thing. Giving, presenting people presenting people. I mean, the world, life is about opportunities and options and things like that or whatever. And all in how somebody frames things. Um, but like, because my mother is like, slaves didn't have a choice. So if, you presented with, you don't think you have the choice, then yeah, you go with the best possible option, the path of least resistance. Thank you guys for the likes too. Shout out to you guys. The path of least resistance. But that's the thing. Just like like I said, everything always comes back. It comes back around. It's the same thing. And like, we don't get the full story. We don't get the full Trayvon Martin story. We don't get the full Shaniqua Robinson story, Shanquella. We don't get the full Wendy Williams story. We just have what they present to us, and then we draw all of this stuff from that, and and most of it, a good portion of it, unfounded, unfactual, unrelenting, unrelatable, but it's like unbelievable. But it's like, oh, this is all we have. She went on vacation with girls that she hated so bad. Or I mean, if you want to fight me like that, I know you don't like me. I already know you don't like me. If you want to fight me like that, I know you don't like me before I even got on that plane. I would never be in a position with you. Was she there with her boyfriend or whatever? She was there with whatever she was there. I don't know. I'm not going to be in a one-on-one situation with you because, first of all, like I said about the housewives, I don't like you. So I'm not going to be with you. No, that is the unpopular opinion. And most unpopular opinions, all they got to do is provoke thought. And that's what Kanye, all you just provoke thought. And if I can't provoke thought, I'm all about the provoking of the thoughts. I'm gonna push you to think. Not like me, because I'm gonna say this and then I'll say this and then I'll say this on top of that. So it's not exactly like me I want you to think, but I just want you to consider the possibility that this other um situation or this other process could be happening as well. Not saying it was good. People in America can't sacrifice that. No, seriously. No, seriously. And it's not good. The thing when the forest fires happen, forest fires are terrible. Forest fires wreak havoc, they burn the trees, animals die in the process. But after the forest fire is new land, cleaner air, opportunity for new growth and development. And if we steady pushing, and that's the thing too, they filter these celebrities out. But that's like you have to take that what that is and make it relatable. Put it at terms and at a level that's tangible. Out with the old, in with the new. Out with the old, in with the new. Meanwhile, Supreme Court justices have a life term, and then presidents come from this bloodline and this bloodline. We're not. There's no out with the old and in with the new. Out with old ways and in with new concepts. People still function on the Bible. Out with the old, in with the new. So not even with the Bible as the thing with the Bible is that people, first of all, especially with the Christians in the goddamn Wendy Williams video, the people use the Bible as a weapon in a place of worship and can't wait to get out into the world and weaponize their prayers and their scriptures and their ideas against people that they deem unlike them on a class level, religious level, classist. I don't know. I do know. But y'all know. It's sick as vicious, and I'm just here to do what I do. Who is Logan? Speaking of Logan, I told you I had watched Wolverine. I had watched what you call it. I had watched X-Men, and that's the thing too. Professor Charles was doing all of them a disservice. Magneto was the good one, and yes, and that's the thing. People die. You want to be on the right side of death, okay? But and that's it, martyrs and dying for the cause and affecting and being a part of affecting change. That's more integral than people die and you did no contributions, and everybody doesn't think about things like that. But what was your contribution? What did you die? I'm dying on the hill for saying Wendy got need karma. Well, like that's what you did. That's what you're gonna die on the hill for. Magneto had it right the whole time, especially watching it in sequence, because he always wasn't terrible. He just wasn't about the bullshit. Especially in the end, died saving everybody else. Charles Charles was egotistical, psychopathic, sociopathic, um, classist. But he's the one, Professor X. I'd have rolled his ass into some oncoming traffic. And that was Mystique's that was first, and then I realized too, Mystique was meant to die because in this universe, in an alternate universe, in a different paradigm, Mystique died. So she was never able to she was never able to challenge Charles properly. And Wolverine just wanted somebody there because he didn't have no. Wolverine was 200 years old. He just wanted somebody there. Charles was there, you know. Charles knew Wolverine was the only one that he had. Shit, just like your parents. I'm not getting into that. I'm not going down that road. Long key mic controller. Yeah, low key mic controller. Yeah, yeah. For him, it's sick. Here, gotta go. Hopefully, I don't want y'all to get in no trouble. Now, on account of me. Enjoy the rest of your day. It should be almost over. Um, but yeah, you know, that's the world that we live in. That's the situation that we have, and that's because that's the media, that's the entertainment. These are the very things when Kanye's talking about. And like I said about Wendy Williams in news, it's like she talked about things that were like conducted, like it's all a part of the thread of it. It wasn't like me, like I'm like, okay, right now this is speaking to me. You know what I'm saying? And this speaks to me, and then I talk about this. She didn't. She might go on there and say, okay, I would like to. She's only talking about what's going on. She never got on there and was like, well, I got on the phone, like with Method Man. I got off the phone with Method Man yesterday, and he told me something that I really shouldn't tell you guys. You know what I'm saying? She didn't do that. The news was already out. It was what it was. Like fucking Jada Pinkett and her damn, um, I was gonna say lymphedema. What Jada Pinkett got? She got what she got. It was no news. Everybody knows that. They black Hollywood royalty. They know exactly what's going on. Jada don't make no secrecies about nothing that's going on. August Alsina, her health conditions, what's going on with the house, what they do with them kids. And now she wanted alopecia. And now now they want to be promoting that movie. And she wearing them big old dresses out of nowhere. I don't know why she wearing them big old dresses now. And Will Smith kissing her head. I've never seen Will Smith kiss Jada Pinkett's head. And the 25 years they've been married. Hello, 25. In the 25 years they've been married, I've never seen Will Smith kiss Jada Pinkett head. Now that's what he's doing. Promoting this movie. The same name as Spice's album. And what Spice got to do with it? Island connections. And now we're incorporating all this African energy and stuff. Portia married that man with her African experience, her African influence. And now she's doing all this politicizing. Okay. And now she was at the damn basketball game. I'm sure, as I told you, Will Smith don't put out no bad movies. Now she at this basketball game with Shamia embarrassing herself. How I spend $2 million at least, I told you, at least $2 million over 2 days, if not more, married to this man. I'm married now. I got money. I am in line. Okay. I have property. I got business. That I go do some childish shit. Like go sing the national. I'm not even a singer. I couldn't even watch. I watched until Shamia started, then Portia joined in, and then I clicked off because I don't like to watch cringy things. If I'm cringing over the phone and the airwaves, I could just imagine what it was like to have been there and listen to that in real time over those speakers. How you do that? How you do that? Yandy being at the wedding promoting the damn stuff. Now we got Mayel and we got Yell. Is she marrying the man for money? She marrying the man because that's what the people want. It is what is intentional and what is conducive for the storyline. Like I said, Portia talking about voting. Portia didn't even know the right terminology for the Underground Railroad. I don't care what her grandfather did. Because pastor's kids is the worst kids, which is not the same thing. I'm just using the term, the euphemism. I think it's euphemism. Might be an idiom. I don't know. But that's like, just because you come from that don't mean you are that or you understand it. You know, so you're just a product of it. You know, that sort of thing. It's too many things wrapped up when she should be. First of all, she should be on her honeymoon, but that's gotta wait for that. Oh, is it a? Don't tell me it's a slave movie and not typical. So what is he fighting back? Which makes sense because you know whatever all of this happened. Oh, what I watched the movie. I watched barely watched it, but it was a bunch of Denzel's son in there, and that's the thing too. Denzel laid back because he didn't offered up his son for the causes, and that's because Denzel's son should have that football scholarship. But what did he do? Bust his Achilles or some shit like that, and now I just got to go into acting. Let me tell you about acting. You either good at it or you not. You either can do it or you can't. Same thing with sports. So maybe acting was always a thing, and they just had to say, "Oh, that he could have gone another way, but this is the way he had to go because this is what happened to him." So now he's here. He sounds just like his dad. You squint, he looked like Pauletta. I get him and Samuel's wife mixed up, but y'all know I'm talking about Denzel's wife. He looked like her, but he sounded like his dad. And whatever the movie that was with him and Billy Bob Thornton, I think Christian Bale, um, um, Margot Robbie, and Taylor Swift. And as I'm watching that movie, Taylor Swift is doing a very good job at acting. Also, that movie with Harry Styles in it, it's called Don't Worry, Darling. That was good. Harry Styles was very good in that. Very erratic character, but he was committed. And I compare all of these singers to Beyonce because she just don't serve. Um, she just don't serve. But as I'm watching Taylor Swift, now she was only in. I'm not gonna say that, but I was as I'm watching Taylor Swift. I'm like, something's gonna happen with Taylor Swift. She not gonna be selling out sell out the albums, sell out. I told you everybody can only do so much, right? Selling out these albums, selling out ticket sales, buying her masters, re-recording albums, then want to go into movies and be good at it. No sooner did I say that in my head did she die in the movie. That might have nothing to do with nothing. But no sooner did I have that very thought in my head did she get run over in a car in the movie. When she had hired the people to do an autopsy on her husband that had died or something like that. And I really kind of clocked out of the movie after that. It just didn't grab me. But I said, no, she can't be sitting here and be good at everything. Boom, dead. So I don't know. But that's the thing. It's like you can't. You just don't show up and be like, okay, I'm gonna be. Because even Denzel, I mean, his son, he gets the things, and also too, he's getting the credit, the nepotism at its finest. Denzel Washington's son getting into acting and getting into these good roles and things like that. So that was crazy. That was, Taylor Swift, but you know, here we are, and this is what we have, and we just have to pay attention to what they're giving us. That's the takeaway. And when they don't give us anything, we have to pay more attention. Because honestly, if it's coming from the media, except me, I'm not even the media. I'm just a blogger, a content creator, a mediatarian. if you will. That's my own term, mediatarian. What the fuck is a gray stand? This thing? I'm just a mediatarian with an opinion. Oh, what the what is? That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. I came on here because I was doing a time. I'm trying to, like I said in the beginning, you can't talk about Kardashians without talking about Brandy. So I want to see what numbers kind of come along with Brandy in conjunction with the Joan Rivers video, because this is after I did. Let me tell you, I wanted to do just Joan. I wanted to just get on there and say, Joan's birthday is the same year Beyonce and the things. I just wanted to say that, but something led me to more numbers, and I was like, okay, we have some number things going on. Obama's birthday was 40. His birthday is August 8th. That's 4-8. That's 8-4. 8 is 4 and 4. He's the 44th president. All of those things was just going on. The 25th year, which is a quarter of 100 years, is the four. It's 4 quarters and 100. That sort of thing. 25. 25th year. Like I said, this year too, which I think, hey, stays. This thing too, I think. Like I said, this is the 25th year. This is the 25th year. This year, 2022, the year the Queen died. The 25th anniversary of Diana's death. Also, the Queen served 70. Don't tell me it was 72 years. How long was the Queen? How long did the Queen rule?
According to History.com, contents, Queen Elizabeth II served from 1952 to 2022 as reigning monarch of the United Kingdom,
70 years,
England,
right?
Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, and numerous other realms and territories, as well as head of the Commonwealth,
10,
the group of
70
53 sovereign
years.
nations that includes many former
Her,
British
okay, all
territories.
right, okay, all right. 70 years. So, they're just the things. I don't know. I don't know what uncoincidental. I don't know what the numbers would have to be. First of all, the numbers wouldn't be in this 12-year calendar. It wouldn't. Let's start. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be working with the 12-month calendar. We would be working with a 13-month calendar. I think, and that's the thing. Like I said with the Joan Rivers video, I started with all the information that I had. I said, okay, I know I want to end with the crow, because that's, with the Wendy video. And that's the thing too, like, at least with the content, my content, it's more of a thread. And like I told you, I have to put that video up there next, to pin it up at the top. I was like, if you watch the videos, if you watch one video, you'll be completely lost. If you watch one video, you won't get the context, you won't know what's going on, you won't know the reasons why. Especially with the Wendy thing, you watch the Wendy situation, even sometimes I'll adjust the Kanye thing, take it back to the Beyonce, her family, the Broussards, that sort of thing. If you watch that stuff, you might be more inclined to understand, especially this latest video with Joan Rivers. The monarchy is one of the most interesting things. I've always been, further, I've always been interested in Egypt, Egyptian history, mythology, Grecian mythology, and the monarchy. Always, 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 always. And maybe it was the fact that they weren't giving us enough in school. They're just like, these are hieroglyphics. I always remember hieroglyphics, how to spell hieroglyphics, because I was just that into Egypt. King Tut, I was huge into King Tut, not just because of his, well, mainly, not mainly, but definitely because of that gold mask, right? And thank you for the share. Um, but he was a young king, and with the parents, and you didn't know, they didn't tell you incest. They never said to you incest in grade school. But that's all that was going on there, and maybe those are the things that was like I realize now that I lean toward um I gravitate, like I said, when I want to do a video, it's like what comes to me, you know what I mean, that sort of thing. Even when I use the pictures that I use for videos, I'll look back and watch the video and be like, oh shit, well that, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's a red background or like a Beyonce, I specifically use Beyonce in that silver because 25 years is the silver anniversary. But things like that, which tell the story through imagery as well as what I'm saying verbally. And the imagery of Greek mythology, the story, along with the story, the imagery of Egyptian history, along with the story, the imagery of the monarchy, along with the story. Those are the things. I know, right? This is just my forehead. I hope. I don't plan on getting it down this far, but Lord, I already know I'm on burn. Either way, but those things have always interested me more than anything in American culture. There's nothing in American culture that I'm just like, oh, let me. And I just have these celebrities just because it's like, it's for me it was always like the lifestyle, lifestyle of the rich and famous, my fabulous life. You know what I'm saying? Cribs, things like that. That is what interested me on such a superficial level, as opposed to what interested me in Eastern cultures, in Eastern customs, in Eastern history. So I just want more. I just would love a little library and a little nook with a nice chaise, because I definitely do want to read more. I am reading, but they're more like self-help things. The books that I've acquired over this year are more like, you know, be you but better, that sort of thing. How to become the best you. Switch on your brain and the art of not giving a fuck. 48 laws of power, shit like that. But I would definitely like more historic literature. I don't know what I'm going to look back at another article. Yeah, definitely down the rabbit hole. Now the thing with Kate, I just this is just where we are. This is the thing. This is the thing with the changing of everything with media. Thank you, AJ. With the media, entertainment, it's just a changing in everything. How they're approaching whatever they're doing, no media coverage, their relationships between Harry and William's relationship between brothers being exploited and explored and things like, it's just like those are the things. That is not what interested me about the monarchy. I just wanted to know why, how, when, you know. And I got into a little bit of that when I looked into the Queen's jewels, um, the Cullinan and the things like that, that take you back to 13th century and African mining and deals made in Brazil or whatever, what I'm saying? Things like that is that sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's going to be my next book. I'm reading You're Too Good to Feel This Bad. He's kind of corny, but there's definitely some things to take away from it. And it's not even about the spark, because like that's not my expectation. And when it comes to the monarchy, it's definitely the image. Um, but thank you for the share. When you watch The Crown, which is just a Netflix show, It has to be based in something because you get sued for liability and Netflix lawyers legal ain't trying to do nothing like that. So they base a lot of their information on facts. And when the queen wanted to take the monarchy from something secretive into something more public, that started the shift in things. Diana took that to a whole nother level. She served her purpose, you know? When one of the characters, one of the moments, one of the bodies of the queen was in the damn James Bond movie. Like, that's like a sitting president being in a movie. It just doesn't happen. At the same time, the sitting president doesn't rule as long as the queen does. So it solidifies her significance at the time and forever and always and things. 70 years, longest sitting monarch. Then you put in the oldest man to come into the monarchy. At the same time, you got George Biden, George, Josh, what the man name is? You get Biden's ass, who become the youngest senator to take office, and now he's the oldest president to be. It's just a mirroring of things and situations that happen that keep my wheels turning and my thoughts moving fast because it's like, yeah, I can't miss it. These are definitely the things that interest me because it's like, no, I can't miss it. I see it and I can't miss it. That's why I'm like, okay, let me write down um, Brandy's numbers and see what the hell happens. She was born in '79, so she older than all the girls, Kim and Beyonce. Born in February, same time as the Grammys and the damn Super Bowl. Ritualistic. I got the Moesha days, which was 5 years. She was in Cinderella in '97. Thea for 1 year. They had her and her family had that show. That Joe is hard. He is insignificant factor in my mind. Um, but very significant placement in the storyline. Um, they had the family show from 2010 to 2011. In 2020, Arista celebrated 25 years um, of music. And 25 years will take it back to '95, which is the year between her ending Thea and her starting Moesha. Her middle name is Rayana. And I feel like that's some type of queen translation. And then, Raymond Jr., but still Ray, which is like light, you know? Um, that sort of thing. And if I talk about Brandy, I got to get into Sonya because we're talking about feminine energy here. Feminine energy. Her and Brandy, Brandy and Monica, Brandy and um, Shirley Ralph, Brandy and Countess Vaughn, Brandy and Thea, you know, Brandy and Whitney Houston. This is what we're talking about here. Brandy and Kim Kardashian, Brandy and the Hands. It's nice that the chair's not creaking. So I'm gonna rock on. But that's the thing. Those types of numbers, those types of things with those numbers, or with numbers in period, when they get to making connecting, you can put it up on the damn wall. Sonya gives stud tease terribly, something terrible, and Bruce. Ray is Bruce. And if Kris Jenner interviewed Beyonce at 11 years old, if Kris Jenner was interviewing Beyonce at 11 years old, 11 plus 81 would be 92. See, this is where we go, and this is why I went live so I could have this recorded. Because yesterday, I was like, why the fuck did I get Beyonce at 8? And I was just so mad because I threw the math happens so fast, and then I'm on to the next thing. I was like, okay, why did? And this goes back into teachers. Teachers always saying, show your work. So let that be a lesson. But if I'm gonna go back to 92, pages and pages and pages. 92, that's the year before Brandy started Thea. Ooh, hey. You know, I love that one. Um, Significance, I'm sure there is some. Do I have it right now? Not at the moment. I want to know if Joan Rivers and Brandy ever like cross paths. Joan Rivers has crossed paths with everybody. I don't really recall anything that she's ever said about Kanye, but I'm sure she's said things about Kanye. I can only imagine what she would say about Kanye now. I can only imagine the things she would have said about Trump now. I can only imagine the things she would have said about Brittany Griner and Russia and Putin and all of this stuff now. But she been dead. And then a lot of these Russian and things like that started happening. Which I want to think about how long Brittany Griner was playing in Russia. Did they say like 2015 she been over there? So that sort of thing. When did Brandy kill that lady? Ain't nobody ever killed nobody like Brandy did, though. She did. Brandy car accident thing. Her baby daddy ain't never wrote no book. You know what I mean? Like things that you would think, expect to happen, just don't happen. Damn. The things that you would expect to happen just don't come to pass. And then you forget about it. And then people move on. Then people move on to the next thing. Kim's hair seemed to be getting darker. I don't know if she'll go back white blonde, but she's in this caramel blonde stage. I told y'all when Kim hair go back black, we already here. $200,000 richer. I don't know if it's richer, but she got $200,000 more coming into that damn house. More property has been acquired. More relationships have been established. She got damn Snoop Dogg and his family posing in the Skims ad. Like, what? And terrible people get on Annie Leibovitz for shooting black people terribly. They look bad in them pictures. Neek, what you mean Russ? Who Russ? That private equity firm, exactly. 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 Which is going to be a bit, and then if people don't pay attention, if people choose not to pay attention, I'm not saying don't look at her hair because I mean that's not I mean that's just people just think oh people do their hair Kim does her hair all the time like that, but like the things that she's built up in the time of this transition, and then that's not just numbers and numerology, but image, colors, the story, not color story, you know, orange across from this and blue across from that. But understanding you wear white to purify and, you know, present new and, you know what I'm saying, things like that, and black are dark and, you know, ritualistic and, you know, it's all ritualistic, but things like that, which is significant. In the year that Joan Rivers died, Beyonce wears that white dress to the Grammys. 25th. And then Kim wears the white dress. That's just like Beyonce's dress. And then, at the On the Run tour with the horns on the motorcycle. It's just a whole rich. It's just all ritualistic. It's just all ritualistic. You want to know why too? I would say that it's like especially like even Google. Looking at the thing now, you look at Christmas. Well, Christmas usually has the same colors, but I don't know. I'm trying to reference like multiple color usages. You know what I'm saying? You go and put on your outfits. You got your creams, your tans, your pewters. You got your citrine. You have so many colors to wear. So many colors that are complementary to you, your skin tone, your hair. That your life. But they always fall in these same categories. Even Beyonce wearing that black like she did at the Met Gala that same year that she had that big scene with Jay-Z and her sister. And she was walking around that elevator like it wasn't full on chaos. Probably because it was already scripted. And we know Beyonce can't act. Because I told y'all, Julia's job as Beyonce's security guard is to understand where the cameras are and where the cameras shouldn't be. And at the very least, he know. Um, Let me get into that because I haven't really got into that. But he know the cameras is in the goddamn thing. And Solange should know because Matthew done told her, don't sit out here and compromise your sister in a way. Because Julia says to her, let's say Julia says to her, all right, Solange, slow down, it's cameras in here. Beat his ass in the house. Y'all about to go, y'all was in New York, you go to Jay-Z's flat, whether y'all got your house, or y'all were going to your house in Connecticut, wherever. In fact, y'all went to the Boom Boom Room. So you wanted to scuff yourself up before you went to the Boom Boom Room? Well, that's where y'all were at. The Boom Boom. You want to fuck them up at an event. Walk out and all the... That's what I'm saying. Don't nobody got no pictures of little Kevin. Ain't nobody asking little Kevin. No. This how this girl was rocking when I was on. Sidebar. This is how this girl was rocking. I was on Bigo one night, and let me tell you, she was rocking so bad. Like it was like a full on cast. It was like 9 people on the panel, and she was rocking like hard rocking, and her chair was not creaking. She was rocking so everybody was making fun of it. The people had went to Twitter and turned her into the meme, and it was the funniest thing. So as I'm sitting here rocking, and to that I understand because it's calming. So that, but you went to the event and you went out and you got you got beside yourself going out there. The cameras is out there. To that point, I think that's what I was saying. Nobody got no little pictures of Kevin, but the people are in a prime position to catch Beyonce covering up his mouth after Solange knocked him one inside the elevator, which is also symbolic because Jay-Z and Beyonce always posing next to an elevator, and Prince died in an elevator, and then she puts it in the song. Of course, some shit goes down when it's $1 billion in an elevator. Now it's a reference to money, and then people want to know how much Solange got if it's $1 billion. Because I know I would hate to think she talked about $1 billion and ain't incorporated her sister in the $1 billion. Or just me and my husband. So my sister fighting because she broke? Like what? Like what is that? But that reference to the elevator alone. Now Chris Paul, because I think because that's the Kanye would just be. At the same time, too, when Kanye first posted that picture, he was like, "I've seen this man with my wife." There was an Arabian man or some type of Middle Eastern man on top of the Chris Paul picture. But I guess we're sticking with the Chris Paul image. Chris Paul only made CP3 allegations. Kanye only made CP3 allegations to deflect from his Hitler praise. And then, he's controlling the media. Is it true or is it not? Chris Paul is married. No? They say Chris Paul's wife. I don't know nothing about this man. Oh, Christopher Emmanuel. His birthday is May 6, 1985. Nicknamed CP3, DEFCON 3, and the Point God. The Point God. You know, Kanye thinks he's a god. He's 37 as well. No, yeah, 37. 1985. Yeah, that was years ago. Okay, so that's that. Thanks, bruh. Um, Down bad, messiest reaction to Kanye claiming he caught Chris. And that's the thing. If he could say that, and then this is what everybody's running with, and because it's Kanye West, of course you think it's valid, but you can't think it's valid because everybody think he crazy. Right? But here it is. Kanye claims he caught Kim having an affair with Chris Paul. Kanye West claims he caught Phoenix Suns player Chris Paul with ex-wife Kim Kardashian. Everybody. Double XL, Daily Mail, Barstool Sports, Yahoo. Everybody reporting that. When this man, y'all said that man was crazy. You don't know what he's talking about. So why would y'all even report on this? Fans think Drake trolled Kanye, but Chris Paul jersey admit he's saying NBA players said the thing. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, I never cheated on you with Chris Paul. You psycho. It all ties in like sports and entertainment. Um, Listening to that song where Jay-Z says in the Jay-Z song in the Power of Four, and how I told you LeBron is associated with four heavily as well, like Beyonce, who's associated with Jay-Z, who's associated with LeBron James. Jay-Z says in the song something about billionaires, abate billionaires, we all billionaires, Kim, Ye, and Ree, me, Ye, and Ree, and LeBron Rock Nation, so that makes four. Some shit like, he said it, he rhymed it. But that was that. So when he added LeBron in there as the fourth person and this new billionaire, it's those things too. Um, is it easy to overlook? Yes. Is it hard to find significance in that? I'm pretty sure it is. Somebody who's not looking for it. You got to be looking for it. You don't find Waldo unless you're looking for him. You don't find Waldo unless you're looking for him. And that's just that. It's always a nugget. It's always something. And then this distraction. Add Chris Paul to the list to see how significant, see what his significance is in any of this. I know his middle name is Emmanuel, so that's some type of reference. Also, too, CP3, like I said, DEFCON 3. I don't know. I'm just saying, And then Point God, which is like, of course he thinks he's a god. Kanye thinks he's a god. Kim thinks she's a goddess. To do all this manifestation that she's done, especially specifically with the Marilyn Monroe thing, like that's to not be overlooked at all. To sit and wear the dress. Of so many things, your mother should have vintage dresses, to wear. You can go to, there's so many nice vintage boutiques where you could have got a dress from that same time frame. You have the access, you have the resources, but no, you chose to break open a vault essentially and slip your body into this dress, which only has fueled the narrative going forward of skinny this and transformation that, and this is what we look like now. Like we don't look like we did, and that's when people really don't even talk about that. How Chloe, I've always thought Chloe's body was when she started doing it. When she got the big old ass, I've said this before. I just felt like she did what she needed to do with it. Kim's ass just always looked like it was sitting on her. Chloe did the working out. Chloe's body now, I think, is sickening. Um, but they're not. This is not is reverse BBLs. It's we do these things because we're skinny and our hair is blonde and our what I'm saying. They're switching this idea. They're switching this look. They're switching this perception in front of us, and all the while, they keep flushing different things past us. Kanye used as a distraction at the end of the day. Too, he is a tool for the cause, for whatever, for the people, for the things. CP for the Phoenix Suns. He just got with them in 2020. I think Phoenix Suns, the fire. Now it's just the stuff like that that makes me like, okay, so let me look into Chris Paul too. Let me look into Chris Paul as well. Is he even married? The thing said married. I don't know. He might not be married. Chris Paul's wife, Jada Crawley. They got married in 2011. Chris Paul's wife attended event with Kim Kardashian weeks before Kanye accused them of cheating. He posted a half-naked Elon Musk. I'm kind of ready for it because it's the same thing with the Wendy. I'm kind of ready for this plane to land too because he's going to keep going. He's just going to keep going until they don't want him to go anymore. But like I said, too, same thing with Wendy. It's like it distorts the idea of really his significant contributions to the culture. You know what I mean? And not for nothing, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with like Bill Cosby and fucking R. Kelly. Significant contributions to the culture. Bill Cosby was people's fathers. R. Kelly was the love maker, and Kanye was, he just provided musical somethings, whatever. He did the things for music and fashion and establishing careers for people who, not even careers, because he put Virgil on, and then Virgil ended up dying. It's been a year since Virgil died. You know? So I don't know. And then where does Kim fall into that? Just imagine. I just don't even know. Takeoff is one thing, but we thought, Michael Jackson was a big deal, or Whitney Houston. Just imagine Kim, and just imagine even Wendy. I think it's just like, gee, that would just be like, well, I would be devastated because I was devastated when Joan Rivers died. That did devastate me. I was taken aback. Um, who's the last big person Who's the last big person to die? The Queen. I told you guys she died 7 days after Beyonce's birthday. It took 7 days until Beyonce's birthday for Joan Rivers to die. Well, of course we know. I mean, he said that in his first Drink Champs interview. He also said that when he told Jay-Z, "Don't send the goons to my head." I don't think that's specifically Jay-Z. Who's Virgil? Off-White. He was the creative director of Louis Vuitton. Um, he was Kanye West's assistant before he was those things. and then he died of a mysterious illness, like Chadwick Boseman. This time last year in November, and yeah, 7 days, 7 days, and Joan. I know she would crack on the Queen. It's just really. I mean, and everybody's been. So I mean, even Oprah Winfrey was on Joan Rivers' show. I just think Joan would have been calling everybody out of their shit like she did before she go. Prince for sure for lots of people. Um, um, like she did before she went. Like what she said about And I just don't think that there wasn't much humor in that. And that's the thing about being influential. It's like question it, question it, question it. Because even still, and that's the thing. Wendy's getting older, and she's just getting worse and worse and worse. Oprah has maintained and has even gained a little youthful effervescence. Michelle Obama has completely transformed herself from. That's why I used that old picture. From who she was when she first got on our radar when Obama was a senator to this woman that we have now. It's a complete transformation. It's a reversal. You know what I mean? So that's not to be talked about. That's not to be overlooked, especially from a woman like Joan Rivers, who constantly got work done, but never looked like, oh, Joan looks so amazing. You know what I mean? She just looked like Joan Rivers. So she would be the one to know about some damn surgery or how it was done. And even still, too, I think people being at the end, like I said, you have these terms, you have signed your contracts, you have this amount of time to do what we need you to do. And towards the end, they just throw caution to the wind. And that's why Wendy's like deaf to all of them. I think that Tabitha thing was business. That's just, was what was required. And also kind of convenient. It was convenient. It's convenient for her for that to even be a topic with what Wendy was going through with her husband. You know what I mean? And for Tabitha to even be relevant enough to be mentioned on Wendy Williams. But like I told you, Tabitha ain't missed an opportunity since then. From putting them seasonings out to starting the show, being on the Shy, it was a different level of exposure that she got from doing that whole process on Wendy Williams, which everybody doesn't think like that, or everybody doesn't see it like that, and that's what makes the world go round. The seers, the sayers, and the doers all have to stay in their place, and I mean, and that's just what it is. But what gets me is people who just see and don't say or don't do, always got something, always got an opinion to put out because all they're doing is, I don't know. Does that make sense? People who don't do nothing always got the most to say. And that's what I'm trying to say ultimately. Don't even have a full picture. And there's just always a full picture. There's always a full picture. We're never just looking at one certain thing. You should never stand too close to a painting because you can't take the whole thing in. And I think a lot of people are just standing too close. And don't get it. But I guess that's why I'm here. But and I don't want to do. I don't know. Want to shout out to people. I don't know, because who knows who watches these things or what the people thinking. I don't know. I don't need no goons coming at my head. But I don't have no recognition that way yet. Although that Wendy video is on its way to a million views. But that's more so. I think that's just based really in negativity. People have responded. People get on there and feel like, oh, people get on there and repeat the same comment that's probably right at the top of the damn thing. So I think that's why it gets pushed out. But it's almost 1 million views on that. And the Chrissy video has 1 million views. And the people are watching me. The people are watching me. And I'm thankful for that. Because this is what you get. I can't be nothing else. I can't really do. I could do a lot now. But this is what I do. what was I saying? As far as the content, it's just, it gets out there. And if my position is to enlighten people, that's what somebody I've seen a TikTok, and that's what TikTok can be really great. Listen, 75. If you just consume TikTok 90% of the time, TikTok is unlike no other app I've ever used before. And the way that you can tailor your content to things that you are strictly interested in, and depending on what you're interested in, things can absolutely benefit you. Like, you don't need a therapist, you could just go to TikTok. You don't need a financial analyst, you can go to TikTok. You don't need to hire a chef. I mean, of course, it's different, cooking, whatever, all the stuff you got to put in the work. But that's life, you got to put in the work. But you don't need to hire a chef. You don't need to buy a cookbook. You can go to TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. You don't know what Jesus. You really get in the algorithm, and then TikTok's putting you things up that you're thinking in your head, and then you see it in the time. It just does the things, and that's science, and that's technology, good, bad, or ugly. But the girl, all that to say, I watched the video, and the lady was like, if you are someone who speaks, and you're talking and the people are listening, and then you changing perceptions, and you're contributing ideas and evoking thought and things like that. um yes, they're stealing our data. um but that is what God calls people to do. He calls people to make changes in people's lives. And it could be a grandiose thought, but it's really not when you think about it, especially when you consider religion. People go to church and pay to be at church because they're expecting a change in themselves. So when you have the power to speak and affect change in some type of way, that's a divine power. And it's all in how you present it and who you are as a person, I think, behind it. But even still, that's overthought because Oprah changed, Oprah changed a lot of people's lives. And I don't think there's lots of, how good is it, behind the mask and the falls and the person girls and the Weight Watchers. How divine is it? So it all depends, and even pastors too, who people love and adore and give their last dollar for, are not as divine in character as you would think they are. But that's the thing. It's your gift is not really based on your character. Your gift is based on your ability to show up and provide. Because there's great makeup artists who are terrible, don't communicate, don't have great, you know what I'm saying, rapport with clients or things. And there's great doctors who have terrible bedside manner. You know what I mean? So it's very much so that. And I don't know. You just live the life, and you live the life, and you do the things. You find your place, and that's just that. How I just know. Well, who knows? All these podcasts and things, and then what do I charge the people a fee? I'm not exactly sure, but getting a show. Let's say, like, I could be like Candace Owens, and that's what you said, Nick. I think you said, and then we have Candace Owens. You know, the thing with Wendy was that she didn't involve herself. You know, information came to her. She was never directly associated, which I like. Well, at least for me, never directly associated with the things until she went and spent that supper with the Kardashians, which I'm still trying to figure out because she didn't come back and be any better from that experience. but she was never associated with the things. She wasn't talking about Diddy and at Diddy's white party. She wasn't talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z and on the yachts with them, yachting in Capri. She wasn't talking about, she didn't talk about Method Man and have him at the house double dating with her and Kevin. You know what I mean? Candace Owens has involved herself and hitched herself, I think, to some of these causes, and I also think her overall appearance, which I think is a factor. I just don't know because if you're gonna, I mean, some you could have a look for radio, and I think she has a look for radio, and I don't think there's a proper representation. And does that matter? Yes, because you want to be on the shows and you want to look a certain type of way and you want to do a certain type of thing. Yeah, I look like this. I have on a damn hair on a hoodie and a bonnet. But the bonnet is nice. And that hair on a hoodie is cute, you know? But let me tell you this. I'm getting to a Candace Owens level. Even Jason Lee, listen, ain't gonna be no slippage. Ain't gonna be no questionable. Because at the end of the day, too, well, I mean, that's my personal thing, but you people, your news people, they don't just, they get up at the ass crack of dawn. You know what I mean? And they pull themselves together and present you the news because that's not something that should ever come into question or be a distraction from what the news should be. And maybe she thinks the simpler the better. But sometimes I think it's too simple. You know, but that's my thing with Candace Owens. And that becomes a distraction for me, especially with her tying her things. Because her having an opinion on Kanye and the shirts would fare better, just like with me, it's like, okay, let's reframe the situation to understand possibly where he might be coming from as opposed to, yeah, I was there with him, you know, that sort of thing, which kind of makes her seem biased. And then she kind of loses the credibility. Not that she, yeah, kind of loses the the dissociation of the credibility in the story. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with like Wendy sitting there talking to these people, having private time with these people, and then it's like, okay, now we're, you know what I'm saying, your character is coming into question as opposed to your news and relevancy. You just need like Tasha K. You just need a credible source. I don't need to be out hobnobbing and rubbing elbows and things like that. No, no, no. And if anybody gonna take her place, I think Tasha could do it. Um, I think Tasha could do it. Where Tasha K came from, I don't know. But she has a great following and she's not involved physically. You know, you can't tie her to events. She also just had an African based vowage renewal, you know, that sort of thing. So, you know, and see, and that's the thing too, because what happened? It got dark. Why did it do that? That is what Kanye, you know what I mean? So that's why I have to mention when I'm talking about one, I have to mention the other because these are the things that are mirroring in these experiences that these black celebrities are having. If Wendy was, say, the Wendy that was in her movie, or she did the little documentary thing where she was getting the lymphedema treatment, she had the things on her legs, even still, she was not completely 2021 Wendy, like in the chair, right? But she was a lot more coherent. If she presented a better image of more collective thought and intentional movement, then I would be of the belief that she is in control, like I've been thinking, that she is in control of her finances and her story, which many people, which ultimately you're not, of her story, to then say, okay, so she doesn't want Kevin to get this money. But like I said too, she, as Kevin was her manager, she knows what money he's entitled to. She knew when she married him and became the breadwinner what money he would be entitled to. Kevin and money and Wendy Williams is not the issue. That's the bee. That's not the beehive. Kevin buzzing around talking about, oh my, Alan, I'm going in foreclosure. That's buzzing around business that he done known for 15, 20 years. It's a simple distraction to further whatever this narrative is. So now you know what I mean, and because what is it now? She's lymphedema, Graves' disease, broke. Because if she's broke, Kevin's broke. Whitney was broke when she died. You know, so if Kevin's gonna fuel that narrative, then that's just what that is. Um, would I wish for him to be about more quiet about the situation because he already knows? Sure. But if my brother is out here trying to leverage a damn YouTube show, Kevin was going to try to leverage, I don't know, some type of recognition so that people will go to his vegan restaurant in Harlem. So I just don't know. But is the money an issue? Absolutely not, because Kevin knew. Now, if Kevin was just a husband and not involved, and she didn't have to run contracts by him, and he was just there with the kids and taking care of the dog. That dog, remember she used to have that dog? She ended up giving back to the people. Um, um, and I always thought she had got that dog for protection. It's that's not. I feel like that's such a basic black storyline. She's not gonna get my money. Sharina been getting your money for 15 years, maybe 20. She not getting my money. I had to go and put glue on the thing when it's easy, easy, and that's what I thought. And this is the thing about it. When Wendy went to go talk to the Kardashians, when she went and sat and did the pictures with Kim and did the pictures with Chris and had lunch at the thing and then came back with this great relationship with Angela and then the thing and the things. I said, Wendy went down there and got some good old fashioned general advice, um, general advice and management and money handling and things like that. And she's gonna come back and she's gonna divorce Kevin and she's going to do the things and set herself straight. Wendy Williams with the Kardashians. Oh my God. Between this damn internet connection and the fucking weather, um, I just knew that's what she went down there for. Here we go, right here. This is the picture right here. That's the picture. Her and Chris was down there. They was doing the things. Okay. This is in um. This is in 2019. So this is the year she divorced Kevin. This is the year that she divorced Kevin. She divorced Kevin in April. This was reported in June. Um, to come back at 2019, this is what I'll say as I'm processing the timage. At 2019, it's too late. Sharina done already had that baby. Your money is already tied up in the man. Your meetings with the Kardashians, so which makes I'm still confused as to why she even did this. Your meetings with the Kardashians bear no successful results or any or positive outcomes. I don't know what Chris would have said, but I think Chris would have said, "I know this great lawyer," but Wendy knows. I would think Wendy would know a great lawyer and things like that because she ain't without resources, being the number one woman in entertainment in New York at the very least. I would think people trying to put cards in her damn niçoise salad at the damn Four Seasons for lunch to guide her, to help her, to do the things. Which she always loved to go out to eat with the people. She was always out shucking and jiving with the people. So the year you get divorced, you go out and have the Kardashians. You don't come back with no ownership. You come back in a worse situation, and then well, maybe, and that's the thing, the Kardashian curse on Wendy Williams. Kardashian curse on black people, period. She was definitely not about to get no exclusive interview. Chris said that, and that's the only thing we got from her going down to L.A. I think she was there for a week. Um, they do this hair flip thing in a video. Kris Jenner was 63. Um, I'm trying to see how long she was down there. Um, she definitely wouldn't get no exclusive interview. The Kardashians hadn't been on the show in years. And that's something that Wendy's show would be able to, hey, brand baby, thank you. That's something her bookers in the show, they know that. So I'll go down there. Okay, so like I said, I'm always playing the other side too. So I'll go down there and I'll try to. Well, what are you saying? Kim and Kanye are already married. It's 2019. I don't know what I don't know what they would need Wendy Williams to do when they are their own information brand. Between what they get paid to put out on social media, there's no reason for them to go to Wendy Williams, which is a bit of a decline too. Wendy should have, when she went to L.A., she should have went to fucking Hawaii or Sri Lanka or something and left like like fucking Dave Chappelle did, because it ain't been nothing since then. This was in 2019. The next year, Wendy Williams' mother died. What did you get? You was divorced from your husband the following year, and you alone. And I say that from her standpoint, not because of Kevin. She alone. Kevin had been out of that marriage romantically for years, but still her manager because he needed to fulfill an obligation. And she relied on Kevin so much. Like the woman that I saw, I would think she was like, okay, this is not working, or you're doing too much. I can go find another manager. Go to Chris. Maybe I'll get Chris to manage me. Maybe she was going down there to plead her case, and that's the thing. And that was a desperate plea for her to go down to Chris, and because nobody benefited from this. It wasn't like, oh, the Kardashians this and oh, Wendy. There was no beneficial. It was just photo ops and things like that. Wendy went down there to say, "Oh my God, I need your help." Chris said, "Come down, we'll have a lunch. This is too much to talk about on the phone or FaceTime. I'm gonna." And Chris seemed like an in-person type thing. Um, Prostrating herself. The next month, her mother. The next year, her mother died. And by 2021 of the following year, by that time, the following year, she wasn't even on her show anymore. She wasn't even showing up. So what we got with Wendy is not about money, but money seems a thing. Because money is one thing they never really talked about. Oprah did a show and it was like Oprah made $45 million a year from the show and this, that, and the third. And that's the thing. Oprah had a lot of branching offs of like the book and the things. And I think maybe Oprah was just for her to have so much ownership. You know, we discussed this before. Like, how did they allow Oprah to have so much ownership? It's either she was advised by who, I don't know, or it was just the first of its kind where a woman in television like this, Barbara was the first to do it. Joan Rivers did it, but that was like late night and things like that. But to command this daytime slot and be so well received, and for her to handle, hecklers and things like that, early on, it's oh, your weight and old religion and all these things and stuff like that, solidified her. Whether she now the research starts with when did she acquire ownership, because that whole beef, I told you, it's always a scandal. That beef thing was a big deal, and that is where she met. Yeah, you guys support the page. Every little bit counts. If I had a dollar for all the new followers I've had within the first month, within the last month, last 2 months, I wouldn't be worried about gloomy clouds. I'd be on the beach or somewhere warm. Either way, she passed the test, survived the trial, literally and figuratively, and put Dr. Phil on after that. Because Dr. Phil was one of my favorite shows. It's called Bull. He's a trial, a jury analyst, that sort of thing. And that is where she met him at and put him on in the process, which I don't think was accidental. It was like, it wasn't like, oh, this great guy, I have the power to put you on. And then that became Oprah's kind of gimmick. Like, she puts you on. Then she put on Rachel Ray, and then she put on Dr. Oz, and she put on Ayanna Van Zandt. Those sorts of things. But that same courtesy was not given to Wendy. I mean, what did Wendy have? She had fucking mugs. You know what I mean? Like, and it's cute, but looking back on it, it's like, damn. But like I said, that was her capacity. Oprah's a journalist. Wendy wasn't a journalist. She was just a shock jock. And they pushed her to do these things. And now, in an attempt to save her life by going out to see the Kardashians, amidst her life falling apart back in New York, it's a mess. It's a mess. And she just don't know how to. And like I said too, the thing about fame is, yeah, maybe, she the level of fame or global recognition and notoriety and things like that. And it's like, no, I don't want to be out there in a wheelchair. That's pride. I'm sure she has it. Something I saw in her when I saw her live. Very proud. And yeah, maybe I could walk, but bad bitch behavior would be like, okay, I hire an escort service, which there's millions of them in New York. I have an escort service that I use for these guys to walk me to my door, into my car, into the events. I don't care if we've seen Wendy walk from like honey, like Mariah getting carried. Okay, we've seen Wendy walk from that fire hydrant to the wrong door, to the right door, into the, that's what we've seen her do it. I don't stand, he waits out there. If the queen got people waiting outside, they don't even carry or walk nobody, nothing. I can have somebody out there walking with me. That's maybe $1,000 a week. It's $4,000 a month. If Wendy don't have $4,000 a month to blow, we're really talking about, there's really bigger things to be discussing. And it's not Kevin not getting his alimony money, because he already knew. Because he knew the decline of his wife. He knew the decline of the Wendy Williams show. He knew the decline of the overall situation. He knew that his funds would eventually be compromised. So that's just that. There's nothing about the Kevin thing. There's no sympathy there because I'm not, like I said, I'm not subscribing to the idea that he's just blindsided by, yeah, the money stopped recently. I don't know when the money stopped exactly, but the money stops, and now he's like, oh shit, I didn't prepare for this. And he's leaving Wendy. I would hope Sharina got the wherewithal or the woman's strength to be like, okay, let me put the money up here, let me save a little here, and I'm not going to buy Balenciaga bags and things like that. You know what I mean? I would like to think that he went and leveled up. It's February 20th, so I was going to say the beginning of the year. But, yeah, that's what it is. It's all a bunch of fuck shit. The thing about Sharina, I mean, and that's the thing too. If we talk about the Truman Show, we talking about Wendy Williams, we talk about Kevin Hunter, we talk about Sharina Hudson, we talk about Charlemagne. All of these people in Wendy Williams' camp, all of these people in Wendy's camp around her facilitating this false narrative of success, delusions of grandeur, importance, relevancy. Because Sharina didn't come from nowhere. She was introduced by the people. She was introduced by someone that Wendy introduced us to. And where he came out, Charlemagne, and everybody got a story. Everybody got a story. And just like I went to apply for the management position at a cricket, right? This is a couple years ago. I sit down with the manager. I had actually sat with she was like the interim manager of the place, and she was like, "Oh, you're great. I'm gonna have you meet with the next manager, and um, I'm gonna have you meet with the owner, and then that'll be the final thing, and then this will be the day, whatever the case may be." That has happened so many times. So I sit down with the owner, and we're just talking, and he was like, "So tell me whatever." And I'm just like, "Well, this is the thing. This is what's going on. This is what it was." And he tells me my story is not compelling enough. I didn't know I was on fucking Diane Sawyer, and I needed to get ratings to get a fucking job at fucking cricket. The story wasn't compelling. There has got to be one hell of a compelling story of Charlemagne the God from Monk's Corner, North Carolina, that supersedes any level of hard work or intention, because Charlemagne is involved with like T.I.'s career, and who else did he talk about? The couple rappers, and then he got the break in New York after, a little struggle here. Girl, yes, Cricket Wireless. And he was Middle Eastern. But just his level of involvement is not, it's not like, oh, I found this great guy. And more so, she didn't even find him. It was Kevin. Another reason of Kevin being more involved than really what people give him credit for. Same thing with fucking Corey Gamble. A lot more involved. I'm sure when Wendy went to go sit down with fucking Chris and took the pictures, was trying to flip her hair with Kim, she was talking to Corey Gamble. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But that would be... Some pictures carry too much political weight, and that would be one of them. Oh, I'm sorry. The people have come in and out. I've been on for 3 hours and 3 minutes. I'm trying to get in the spirit. I got this whole transition. I'm done with the things. I'm trying to get in the spirit to do this whole transition. I got at least 3 type of trend videos I want to do. Definitely one being in transition because I'm about to perm my hair. And I got some bleach. So that's a little tease. And I'm going to go, only for the subscribers, do a little Michaela Sean transition. Well, I'm gonna go live for the subscribers, and you got to come over to see what's going on, be a part of the madness, and that part. But I also trying to get this damn. No, we have not. I've been feeling mighty down. I've been feeling mighty low. And that what Miss Sophia said. We're trying to kick some dopamine in the system. I got the things that I need. So we're gonna do that. Get a little get glam go whole session for the subscribers. And of course a little inside talk. You know how we do. It's a lot more intimate on the other side of the Lux Gang experience. But I want to make this roast. I have a shoulder in the fridge. And I don't know. I also want to do. I don't know. Should I do that for the subscribers as well? I might do a subscriber only live, where only the subscribers can comment. A mukbang, mukbang. Might do that. I was gonna do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it Monday. Seafood Sunday sounds better than Seafood Monday, huh? But it was Seafood Mukbang sometime this week. Subscriber only comments. And I gotta start catering more to the subscribers, but I like to come on over and invite the new people into the fold. You got to invite the people into the fold first. Drink the Kool-Aid. Just a sip of the Kool-Aid before I pour you a full glass. But I'm probably gonna do that now. And I'm maybe get into this brandy thing and see what else I see with what I'm looking at. Pork shoulder, maybe the greens. I do have some asparagus in there. I still have some Brussels sprouts too. What's interesting bathing in herbs? What did I say that was interesting? I'd be forgetting. I'd be missing it because it's like a 4 or 5 second delay. You know, I could switch topics about 6 to 10 times in 4 or 5 seconds. Oh, brandy. Yeah. Brandy for sure. Brandy, which might tie me into, because I'm not Whitney Houston, but I want to do a video on Pat Houston. And she's just very elusive. You know, Eve was definitely on the list. She's up on my list of things to do. Because, you know, she got this kid and stuff like that. So one day I will definitely get into Eve. You know, there's nothing, I don't say there's nothing but time, but you know, there is nothing but time. And that, like I said, things they usually fall on me, and as they fall on me, they become relevant in the news. So I just like to let the ancestors use me in that way. But I feel like when I do get into Brandy, I might be able to get into Whitney, and then which will frame the Pat Houston deep dive I want to get into. So there's that, and that's the process, and that's what it is. And things like this will, yeah, probably go for subscribers only. Because I can't let everybody in on the process, because then somebody be trying to do it. But you know, can't nobody do it like me. Can't nobody do it like me. Hey, Janae. Good evening. Like late afternoon. So that's that. And I sit here. We got Oprah got her own little page here too, and it's just different. It's just different. I just feel in the way of the delivery. I just feel how I want to feel the delivery of it and see what it gives. So look, thank God I got a nosy gene because looking up stuff is really well. It ain't 5 o'clock yet, and once it's five after five, then it's evening. Why are people cutting up Balenciaga? I didn't go to sleep till like I went and laid down and I watched the rest of the season of 911, and I knew when I laid down that I was gonna go down because I had me one of my Starbucks drinks. Hello in Cape Town, South Africa. Welcome. Um, I knew when I went down I wasn't gonna be down because to do I was in a light groove yesterday. I put on some Pandora and I was vibing to that for the better part of the day. And then I had my Starbucks energy shot drinks. And I knew then, well, I didn't think it was going to hold me from my sleep because it normally don't. But when I went to lay down, I was like, no, that's not it. So then I got up around 5 and I had a pot pie and a pickle. And then that was it. So by the time I went to sleep, the sun was coming up. I got up at 11 and I got on live at 1. So yeah, I'm going on. And hopefully I'll get into bed and pass out. That's all. Like, do I even want to cook? Because I could be waiting for the shoulder to get done and end up falling the fuck asleep. And now I got the burnt shoulder and the thing, and I don't want no burnt shoulder. So that's that. And also that's too another reason, getting into the zone because and that's why I like it. I just need to get me a coffee machine. Support the channel so I get me a coffee machine so I can stay in the mode. Get me a little coffee machine because I do enjoy the taste of coffee and I do like the benefits as I've gotten older more so of what the caffeine does, what it allows me to get done. And well, I'm not doing that today because that's gonna be a boom, 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 and that's gonna be on the. You guys gonna have to subscribe to see that. I mean, you'll see that I'll do the transition videos, but I'm gonna do that all for my subscribers, an intimate family setting, per my hair, and I do I do a whole get ready thing. Caffeine is really life. It really is. Um, I don't drink them too often. That's out here too. But you know what? I see so many people drink damn Red Bulls, and unless they change the formula within the past 10 years, which they probably have, but people be knocking back Red Bulls like it's nobody's business, like it's coffee, and you like a little Coca Cola. And see, it's just it is what it is. But no, I don't indulge too much in those things. I try not to think the heart will get me, but it is extremely helpful because I was like, yeah, all numbers. See, who is this? No, it don't work. I can't even invite nobody to the thing because the connection is so bad. The connection is so bad. The connection is so bad. Either way, um, ooh, not for weeks. Not for weeks. Bathing herbs, you just not following? I thought you was part of the family. Welcome. Um, yeah, they do that. So yeah, it definitely had me ready and willing to get the content out, get the words out, get the thought out. I do like a little coffee. I like a little coffee and I like a little nap, you know. I do get the jitters. I do be jittering like a jitterbug. I do. It does happen. I'm glad you like the vibe. It's one of my top compliments, the vibe. And I greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that. It's the collective. Welcome to it. Welcome to it. So yeah, of course, there's always more videos coming down the turnpike. Always more videos because there's always something going on, okay? Always new developments. Housewives is doing something. These celebrities is always up to something. I don't really do too much political because, you know, that's faker than the damn celebrities and the housewives. Well, thank you, Neek. Yeah, so sweet. I love going on live for y'all. I love coming into the space and just getting into the vibe, getting into the groove and kicking it. You guys hanging out, especially the faithful. Y'all stick around, and it builds. I mean, growth is always the goal, but I appreciate because it's newer people in here. It's new people in here from my like the original gang, and I appreciate that. So I guess the slow and steady wins the race, and quantity over quality, quality over quantity. Because I would hate to have 200 people in here and don't nobody engaged. I mean that's boring. Come on now, you got to get out of here. Do y'all see him up here? No, he's not even up there anymore. Go back. I don't know what that is. So there. So that it is what it is. Expectations of something I'm not even sure of what it is, or how it should be. But I'm happy with what I got and what it is right now. What I got and what it is right now. It's Saturday today. Ooh. It's Saturday today. I actually did think about cooking a shoulder on it here. Because after 3 hours, my shoulder would have been done. But I had made that first video, and I was just like, let me just jump on, thinking I would get into the Brandy vibe, and just get to writing down the things that I see from Brandy, even getting some input from you guys, which is nice. But that's not what the Lord said. That's not what the Lord said. It's going live is a roundabout way of procrastinating, but at the same time to get things done, and I in turn become helpful. The work that I omit or the work that I disregard, I end up doing equally as impactful work. Well, nice. I don't think I've ever had jollof. But I do love all things island. Did you guys have you had a tradition other than the jollof? Was it? Yeah, I'm just trying to see with the Joan video, I'm just trying to see how she ties into what dates line up and how it ties back into the Kardashians and everything that is and other things that have gone on. That's why I did that, because people are like, make it plain. And I feel like the video is. No, I don't know what I feel like the video is. There's information there. And if you can't piece it together, then I don't think it's for you. Like somebody commented and said, "This is a video for the open-minded." And if you're not open-minded, you're not going to get it. Oh, the shoulder will go good with the shoulder. Don't want to make some rice. We'll see what I do. I still have some of that jerk marinade I said that I had made. So maybe I might do that with the rice and the shoulder. I don't even know what I want to do with the shoulder exactly. It just be shredded shoulder. I don't know. But actually, I was gonna make it kind of birria style because I still have so many peppers from that one time I made birria, and I had a big ass shoulder. I mean, it was as big as my shoulders, and I don't know why I bought a big ass shoulder like that. I had shoulder for weeks, okay, and and I eat a lot, and I still had a lot. So it was just I had at least bought a shoulder for at least a family of 5 or 6, and I was the only one. And now this one is a little bit more manageable. It's a little bit more quaint. Uh-huh. But I was gonna, blend up the peppers and stuff and see. I'm gonna just let the spirit lead me. I know what I want to do, and not until I turn these lights on and get this and get in the vibe will I know how it's gonna be done. And that's just how I let it do it. Over in the Kelly kitchen. I still have to do a voiceover for my stuffed chicken video. This would have been the time to do it with all this damn traction I've had since the Wendy video. The Wendy video and the Porsche video. A lot of people have seen that. A lot of people have commented on that. Is it 2 screens up? Or is it just me? Because this screen over here is still dicking around. I'm heading out in 4 minutes. I'm trying to, I like a nice even timing. I try. Even stuff Randy is on then got put in the radar. Ooh. So I mean, I could have a little seafood boil tomorrow. I could. Do y'all want a seafood boil tomorrow? A seafood session. I got some Dungeness crab. I have shrimp. I have mussels. I have crawfish. What you think about that? Take away some of that bulk in my damn freezer. I don't know what's happening. Oh, Jesus. Lashes and lip gloss. We not. I'm about to. I'm out of here right now, honey. I'm so sorry that you missed it. But we discussed a couple of things. Really, lots of focus on Wendy and that husband of hers. Talked about my last video. I've been on 3 hours, 30 minutes maybe. Yeah. Oh, tomorrow. I'll probably be on tomorrow. I might do a seafood mukbang tomorrow, and maybe I'll do that a little later. I might start around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. Hopefully that works for you. Hopefully that works for the people. Today I just jumped on because I had something to say about people's opinions on the Wendy video, and I had something. Just her husband knows what's going on. He's her manager, so he was there when the paperwork came through about how he would be paid, what he would be paid, and when he would stop getting paid. So there's none of this is a surprise to him. So we shouldn't be focused on that. We really need to be focused on Wendy just being better. Not back, but better. You know, that sort of thing. But yes, tomorrow be looking for me to be eating again. And we can discuss the things a little more. I'm sure there will be something new to bring to the conversation. Cynthia Bailey and Mike Hill reached an agreement to settle their divorce. It's all convenient timing. You know, Kevin talking about the money. You know, it's so many things. And absolutely nothing at the same time. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. EST. That's what we'll do. As always, I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. You could be anywhere in these TikTok streets, but you spent your moments and your minutes with your boy. And I love you for that. And that is all for now. So until next time, I will see you sooner rather than later.